Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Wednesday. That means it's Xbox Nation Day. I've got one heck of a panel, and we were getting heated just in the pre-show because we're going to have a great discussion on Battlefield 5 and Call of Duty. The Battlefield 5 trailer just dropped today. A lot of information about that. It looks amazing. Mooch can't wait to get it. He's excited. He's got
yeah.
He's got the dish. He's got the plane landing on your head edition. It's going to be fantastic.
You got one thing right, Crap. Something dropped. 4G and 3 airplanes in that short demo on people's heads.
Yeah, well, no, nobody's.
That demo couldn't have been any better than if I made that a Mooch blooper reel for Battlefield 5.
You can tell Mooch is fired up.
I'm ready to go, folks.
Let's introduce him. Mooch, how's it going, man?
Oh, dude, I'm doing all right. You know, like I said, today was a great day. Everything was going real smooth until Battlefield 5 came out. I said, you know what? Let me give this thing a chance again. Because every time it comes out, I'd like to give Battlefield a chance. Because you guys are right. You guys are right on the panel that like it, and we'll get into it a little bit. It is a very good game. It's polished. It's a simulator of war, which I like that. But there's just an element, and I'll save my testimony till later in the show. But there's just something about it where it just they somehow managed to extract the fun right out of it. But that's a me problem, apparently.
They extract the fun out of it?
Right out of it.
Huh. That's an interesting take. But let's go to Hellhammer. How you doing, man? Welcome back.
Oh, yeah. Pretty good. Just been catching up a little bit of gaming. I've started playing that
A Way Out, right?
Yeah, Way Out. That game's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good game, actually. Like, I was surprised by it.
Yeah, a lot of people really like that game, so I'm not really surprised. We've got back again, Salty. What's up, man? You feeling better than yesterday?
Hey, that bathroom trip was crazy last night, right? I mean, screw Taco Bell. Yeah, I'm doing good right now. Downed a bottle of salt just to spread it around the night. It's gonna get crazy.
Yes.
Battlefield and COD. Let's go.
Yes, it's gonna be good because you are anti-Battlefield and pro COD.
Oh yeah, I got a lot. I got a lot to say, man.
I'm pretty
nice.
I'm excited to hear that. I brought a whole thing of popcorn.
Oh, me too, man. It's going to be good. We've also got Lady Foxfire joining us again, specifically because I was like, hey, want to jump in on this Battlefield topic? And she's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what else he has on the list. All I know is he said Battlefield. I was super hyped after I saw that review. I was like, I'm in, because if you guys didn't see all that action going on screen, I know some of you can't handle that, but it's fine. I liked it, and I can't wait to jump in that game. So I'm looking forward to talking about this as soon as we done with intros.
Hell yeah. Well, it's gonna be great, man. We're gonna jump right into it. We've got one more person, Attack the Glitcher. What's going on, bro? Thanks for joining us again.
No problem, man. Hey, man, I'm ready to get on these topics, man. We got a hot night, and we're ready to go deep. Yeah, ready. I'm ready to defend some Battlefield going on, so let's get rocking.
He's like, oh, yeah, let's do it. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, Battlefield 5 dropped today, the trailer. You know, it was kind of this little weird thing on Mixer. I watched it, and you know, it was kind of funny, but I was like, the best part was obviously the trailer, and man,
the trailer looks great.
Yeah, the graphics, that's running on an Xbox One X, looks absolutely phenomenal.
Well, I mean, we know it's going to be enhanced. I mean, obviously.
So unlike Battlefield 1, this is enhanced. Also, there's no more season pass or battle pass or whatever the hell they
Premium
used to do.
pass.
Premium pass. There's none of that. It's all free DLC. No pay to win, randomized loot boxes or any of that stuff. So that's a big win. They have a single player campaign, a 4-player cooperative campaign called Combined Arms, the single player war stories, and there's different modes as well, different multiplayer modes. To me, this was like, wow, man. And I think if you're a Call of Duty guy, or if you're Activision right now, you got to be going, wow, man, I hope we can even survive this. Because
can I stop this cheerleading parade real quick?
No. He's informing the people. He's informing.
Well, believe me, you're gonna get more facts. Here they come. Put your seatbelts on, Foxy. Facts. Listen, here's the thing. Let's just break down let's work from the bottom up. Because the top part, you guys already know, top part's your head getting smashed in by some kind of crop duster. Listen, the part that really gets me is everyone's like, oh my God, look, at DLC is going to be. This is a company in EA that every one of you guys that's now patting EA in the back were pitchforked and knifed 3 months ago, okay? Now they're like, hey, we're going to put some extra Battlefield 1 DLC out there, which, by the way, I'll give credit to Salty for that. That was Salty's gig, and he's 100% right. They're going to throw ahead this DLC at us. It's what it feels like. And to be honest with you, now everyone's all excited again. The other thing about this is that we watched a 2-hour show today, or whatever it was. The only show that I've watched for that long with so little content was Inside Xbox. Boom. Listen, okay?
Oh my
I have
God.
never seen a waste of time like today. Thank God they had the guy from The Daily Show on with a couple of jokes, because if it wasn't for him, that was a disaster. So listen, here's the thing I'm feeling with Battlefield, and this is what I've kind of felt since Battlefield 4. Just because you change the era of time, it just feels like the same game over and over again. And listen, I know you guys all get upset when you hear that they're going 6v6 to 5v5. And you're like, oh, how dare they do that? Listen, if that's a game that's intense, the maps are smaller, it's a more intimate fight. This stuff with 64 people, 32 versus 32, and there's like a pebble comes flying out of the right, goes through your cheek, you're dead. What is happening? I don't have that kind of time.
Dude, hold on. Let me just calm down a second. Look, let me say this.
My apologies.
Battlefield is exactly what it is. It's a battlefield, right? And I used to be anti-Battlefield years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And then,
we used to be really anti.
Yeah.
Like, we refused to play it.
And then Battlefield 4, and then Battlefield 1 came out, and I started having a really good time with that. And now I don't even know what the hell Call of Duty is anymore, to be honest with you. No single player.
Hashtag fun.
It's not. No, listen, hold on.
Have fun with your jetpacks and all the crazy.
Hey, hold on. Wait a
They don't
minute.
have this one, man.
There's no jetpacks.
There's no jetpacks, but you got the Avengers in there. They're like goddamn superheroes. They got all kinds of superpowers and super moves, and like, when is
They
that?
got a grappling hook.
Yeah,
Got a grappling hook? What the fuck is this?
grappling hook. What, like one of them's like the Incredible Hulk or something. Like,
Wait a minute, are you trying to tell me after a long day's work, I don't want to come home and actually do something that's not realistic for once? Like, what's wrong with that?
There's non-realistic, but that's not Call of Duty. Hashtag not
Call of
my
Duty
Call of
Infinity
Duty.
War.
Not my Call of Duty. That's what I'm saying. That is not my Call of Duty.
game-
Mooch,
Gameplay
you
was
said hashtag
clean.
fun. I want to know, when was the last time you had like actual fun with Call of Duty?
Well,
Because I know for a fact you didn't play the last one like I did.
No, you're right. You're right. And here's the thing. I'll be honest with you. Call of Duty and Battlefield, for me personally, have jumped the shark. Both of them.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if we're going to have a discussion on a versus, Battlefield, like even when I play with people that play Battlefield religiously, they're like, oh, Mooch, over here, Mooch. Oh, no. Hey, Mooch, do you see that thing? Do you see that thing up there in the far corner? I'm like, what? The sun? No. Do you see that thing twinkling way up there? What is that? They're like, if you look really, really close, I think that's somebody looking at you in their sights from 75 miles away. Pew! Dead. I'm dead. Right in there. Like, what?
Like, I'm dead.
I'm dead. And then you parachute down, and as
Oh
you're
my
parachuting down, somebody shoots you. It's like, come on. This is like, there's realistic, and then there's like, what the hell is this?
Well, you learn the nuances, right? Like, if you just jump in, and it can be frantic, and it can be overwhelming too, guy. You know,
Yeah,
like you
can't
gotta
handle
run
it.
with
I
the-
know.
Yeah, run with the team, and they'll watch your back.
You can't
and
just
stuff like
stand
that.
there and wait for the sniper to kill you. You actually have to move around. And no,
Yeah.
Mooch, you don't have to run around. Literally, you could get in vehicles and drive around. Obviously, the last one had horses, which I know that wasn't very popular,
That was
but it still
trash.
had tanks. So that was really cool. Obviously, the thing about Battlefield is action everywhere all around you.
Oh, well,
and yeah, it could be overwhelming, but it's always something to
Let me
do.
say this,
You're
and I'm going to give
capturing
it to
flags.
Salty. Here's the thing. She goes, you can get into a vehicle. The last time I got into a vehicle in Battlefield 1, I get into the back of the tank, and I'm like, where's my gun? They're like, there is no gun. I'm like, what do I do? They're like, just look out the back and let me know if someone's coming. That's not fun. That is not fun.
Yeah.
That is just a seat. That is a seat. They told me to, you know what, Mooch, take a seat.
Take a seat.
That is not
Yeah,
fun.
Salty, what do you what do you think?
Man, dude, the beginning of their reveal was the most boring thing I've ever witnessed. Like I was with my friend Nick, who was doing this like reaction, and they're like, "Are they serious? Like, when are they going to actually show gameplay?" And then when they showed this trailer, how much gameplay did we actually see? A lot of that was just CGI. You guys can't tell me that midway midway in a battle, like on a multiplayer map, some dude's gonna try to choke you out, and then your friend's gonna come by and she's like, okay, it's okay, and smash the guy in the face. It was just, it seemed like a CGI trailer to me more than anything. And then beyond that, it almost felt like I was watching, you know, a reskinned version of Battlefield 1. And I've been a big Battlefield guy until this Battlefield 1 fiasco, because it was just bad, man. I'm talking about lack of content, lack of attachments, and I understand it's an older setting, you know, World War I, but that's really, you know,
what attachments are you gonna want?
That's what I'm saying. You can't, when you're in that setting, you can't have the attachments, you know, and that's what makes Battlefield 4 great. I can go back there and I'm still earning stuff. I'm still earning attachments and, you know, progressing through the game. It just felt light on content.
Well, I mean, I think that anytime you go to, you know, World War II or earlier, you know, World War I.
That's what I'm saying.
Whether it's Call of Duty or Battlefield.
Yeah, when you go to that setting, it feels limited, you know? It's just weird.
Yeah, but they're going to add more weapons and more customization to your guns and attachments when, well, compared to Battlefield 1, it's going to have more of that stuff, obviously. I don't know if they're going to keep it exactly, you know, the same historically accurate, to be honest. I don't know about that, but they are going to put more customization, more attachments that they did in 1, because everybody was complaining about that, and they're going to add more weapons, which they said, and I'm looking forward to it overall, because I don't think it's a DLC like after Battlefield 1 type of thing. I think the game plays differently from the little of gameplay that we did see, because I guess the trailer was 2 minutes and plus, so I guess 1 minute or so was gameplay. It did play very differently compared to 1. And a little bit differently than the older ones, which before they used to be clunkier. This looks so smooth, and everything looked amazing.
The reason why it looked smooth is because it was mainly CGI trailer. If you go back and see that, like the amount of
I'm talking about the gameplay part. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but the gameplay
when
part,
he jumped on the ground and he started shooting, and then he switched to his pistol and he kept shooting, that looked very fluid.
But that was like very limited, you know, like where you're seeing the planes and all. That's all choreographed. Where they were doing the melee stuff,
we're also talking about a CG reveal or a mostly CG reveal trailer here that's coming. That's out, you know, months ahead of the game. It was supposed to release.
We're going to see more on it, but I will say this: Battlefield has long like taken the graphical and things like that from the crown from Call of Duty. And I used to be a big Call of Duty guy, right? So this is apparently, I'm going to read a little bit of details about this. It says destruction has long been a staple of DICE's games, but Battlefield 5 will allow players to defend and rebuild their locations. Players will now be able to reinforce walls, board up windows, create several fortifications in-game to provide a defensive counter to destruction. This will add an additional strategy to the competitive multiplayer in the already complex first-person shooter. Multiplayer will be Battlefield 5's three main pillars, the other being the 4-player cooperative campaign and single-player war stories.
4-player co-op campaign. Oh, nice.
Yep.
Exactly. All three of the modes will be tied together thanks to the game's connected progression. That means that progress made in the competitive multiplayer can help the player out in co-op and vice versa. It's all part of the game's new live service called Tides of War, which is meant to keep players coming back to the game at regular interval without any paid DLC. Fortifications are something any player can build with their toolkit. Toolkits are also used to build resupply kits at spawn points for players to stock up after respawning in the battle.
Shout out to failed pyromancer crap, because as you're reading that part, all I'm hearing is
oh my god,
Fortnite and Battlefield, everybody. Build it up.
Listen,
it's not the same at all. You're not building it out of nothing. You're building it from stuff that got destroyed. So after I already had destroyed that building you were in,
or you're fortifying a building that you're in.
Yeah, I could go back in there and fix it up a little bit.
Oh, so while I'm turning to my buddy Salty, and I'm like, Salty, what we'll do is we'll go left, and we'll go left, and then we'll go right, and then we'll go straight. That's when the wall will crush me and Salty, and we won't even know it. Cool, good game.
Look, here's the difference. You're not building
Salty,
a goddamn...
Salty, the roof!
You're not building a stairway to
Salty, the roof?
You're not building a fence. When people are shooting at you, you're not building like 15 fences in there to stop them.
I'm gonna be honest, right? Like, to me, I was more frustrated with the random deaths and stuff that I got from Black Ops 2 forward.
I would rather Hellhammer have that hitbox detection error than get killed from a grain of salt 65 miles away. Okay?
Look, Crapgamer attest to this. There were times where we would play like Black Ops 2 or 3, and we would just blow up from fucking nothing and be like, what even happened?
Yeah, what hit me? And then there would be no kill cam, right?
Yeah,
you
we just be like,
blew up.
oh, dude.
Yeah, that's why we stopped playing Call. That was when I stopped kind of playing Call of Duty for the most part with the online. It wasn't until World War II that I was like, hey, this is pretty good. But then again, there's so much else going on that it's really kind of hard.
But I mean, do you guys see what I'm saying? Listen, here's the thing. I played Gears of War, and I've played with Fox. I've played with people that play Gears religiously. And, you put your time in with Gears or Halo, you put your time in with Call of Duty, you're actually going to be a pretty decent player. Like, I picked up Destiny again, started going at it like crazy for the Warmind expansion, and I've been absolutely kicking ass in the Crucible. Like, you get back into a rhythm. With Battlefield, okay, if you're not diehard and you're listening to me right now, if you're not diehard, and I don't mean that doesn't mean you like it. I mean diehard playing the game, you're already coming in under a major disadvantage. And, these guys are saying that the hitboxes in Call of Duty and this now are frustrating, even if it's a legit hit and attack. If you can't see the people that are 65 miles away shooting you, or right in Battlefield 1, a horse walks by you and you die, like when things like that happen, you're just like, this is just not fun. And that's what I mean by extracts the fun out of it. Like, I work all day. I get home. I don't feel like dying from somebody who's shooting me on a molehill 60 miles out.
Well, I mean,
like,
you can say the same thing for the more modernized Call of Duties too, right? Where they have the power-ups and all the other crazy crap that's in there, like.
Not really, no. Because I have a power up too.
When they had the jetpacks and all that shit in there, like you could say the same thing. It just wasn't fun. You had people running.
A jetpack is jumping. At least I could see you jumping over my head. Go ahead, Saul.
In Battlefield 1, you have to admit it was a sniper fest, right? Like, they made sniping way too easy in that game. It's like when you play these big game modes, you can just see the glint from the glare from all these snipers lined up, and you just go anywhere and boom, boom, boom. People were actually quick scoping.
I've been through that
memo on sniping because I suck at sniping in that game.
Well, there came a point where I've a couple of times have played matches, and a lot of the other team are snipers. But guess what? What we do is play the objective, and the match ends really quickly because they're all just sitting there, and we're actually capturing the flags. So eventually, you go over there and you kill them with your tanks. They're not going to snipe you in your tank. So you can work around that. And obviously, I understand if you don't like flying around, you don't like being in the horse, you don't like sniping, but there are people that like doing those things back. So it's not just like a one-way thing that all that stuff is happening to poor Mooch. Mooch, you could do that back to them if you want to.
Yeah. So you know what I'll do? Listen, here's what you do, guys. Saturday afternoon, make yourself a nice little lunch, go up on a molehill, hang out, and you can be that granular speck of salt that shoots somebody maybe twice in an hour. Like, that's just not fun. It's a simulator.
But hold on, there's different game modes. They did add the close quarters combat stuff, and there wasn't really any snipers in that. And I will point out that whenever I play Call of Duty, I get sniped all the time by quick scopes, no scopes, Magoo.
I never.
and they spin around. And they spin around right after.
Spin around, they do weird flips and stuff. I don't even know, man. Like, that stuff's crazy.
Valkyrie in the chat, he goes, Mooch, you have to keep moving around. Valkyrie, listen, I have done that tactic.
Serpentine.
You move around, and while you move around, there's not a lot of. It's a big, wide open area. You just get pegged off.
Get a vehicle, Mooch. That's the whole point. Well, actually, if you're playing if you're playing Conquest, get a vehicle. But you could play team, and there's none of that happening because the maps are smaller.
You can argue the differences all day, but I mean, honestly, both games have their issues, right?
Right.
That's
they
just
both do, yeah.
right? Like,
yes, I'll agree with that.
No, but
Call of Duty's been putting out more issues than what Battlefield has been lately. I'm saying.
How so, though?
For me, it's more just the Call of Duty stuff. I don't like all the extra crap they add. Like, when I play Call of Duty, I play it because I like the quick matches. I like the quick small maps, that kind of thing. Just run and gun type of stuff. I don't want somebody coming around the corner with, oh, I got this charged up super fist now. I'm punching the ground. Up, you're dead. I'm running across the wall now. Up, you're dead. Like, there's no cutoff points anymore in Call of Duty. The maps are so open that there is no choke points or anything like that. That was a main part of how Call of Duty was having those choke points. Call of Duty 4 was basically the first Call of Duty to have that really built in to where the maps and everything had that kind of thing.
Here's the way I look at Call of Duty this year, right? This is the year that I finally, everybody's like, Call of Duty's, the wheels have fallen off,
Yeah, you always get it every time.
I know, like, but for me, this is the one where I'm like, every company needs to be humbled a little bit, and I feel like EA's been humbled multiple times. You know, with Battlefront 2, Battlefront 1, you know, they get humbled quite often. Microsoft too. This whole generation, they've been humbled to death, right? Like they've almost humbled themselves to irrelevancy. So this, I think, Activision has been unscathed for some reason. People are always like, you know, Activision, I'm tired of it. Destiny, you know, they keep selling us these half-finished games and then selling us DLC that should be on there and strikes that you don't get for 2 years if you're an Xbox. They do all this anti-consumer stuff, and now they take out an integral part of the game. And according to them, they were never going to have a campaign, and they didn't even decide to add that blackout mode until the last year. So their original plan was to sell us a game with zombies and multiplayer for $60.
Crap. See, people are singing, you know, the praise of EA and Battlefield right now. Oh, we're going to get this premium for free. We're going to get DLC for free. The only reason they did that is because in Battlefield 1, they split up their player base so bad that the game pool, like the player base, died. It was dying so fast. It's not because
not exactly, because if I have premium, I can invite you guys to play with me. So you didn't really split anyone up.
But it was, though. That's the reason why they did it. That was after the fact. In the beginning, the player base got so bad that it was bad. Like, you couldn't find people to play matches in
But I did. It was just fine.
But companies learn from that. Look at Halo 4, right? Like, I was actually a fan of that multiplayer, right? I like the drops and the classes,
listen, we've
right?
But go ahead, Crap.
I just want to say that when they had the DLC that you had to pay for, nobody will, you know, my friends never bought any of that. So it was always a waste, and it divided the community. This is like the future. Like Halo 5 didn't do that.
We had multiple podcast crap attacking Call of Duty for removing the campaign. Okay.
Yes.
Which I think is no problem, but we'll get back to that in a second. So far we're 20 something minutes into this show, and all of you lovers of campaign, I haven't heard anything about Battlefield 5's campaign.
Well, we said it has two.
They didn't talk about the actual campaign, but obviously, at least it's there, and that's what matters.
Listen, but dialing it, that's the thing where you guys don't get it. And that's the thing I don't understand, is like, just because you put it in there and you dial it in, it doesn't mean it's great. Battlefield 1's campaign was atrocious. It was terrible.
I thought it was okay, but
it's still getting more for your money, regardless of whether you like the campaign or not. You're not.
I think it depends on personal preference.
Let's take a poll.
But I have said overall, no, because I said overall, like in the past on this show specifically, I said, yeah, when you look at this giant scale of things, right? Battlefield's campaigns are not as good as Call of Duty, but why did Call of Duty take away that campaign from you?
I feel
because all that action that I've been talking about that Battlefield multiplayer has, Call of Duty had that in the campaign, but now you won't get that.
I feel they're going to expand and make the multiplayer better, which I liked from what they showed at their presentation. We're getting 3 zombies, okay, and we're getting Blackout. And I think, to me personally, for me, you guys had your fun. You guys had your fun for a decade. Yeah. Now it's us that didn't play the campaign, which is it's the casuals, and the majority of people play Call of Duty. We didn't play the campaign, and I don't think we're getting less. I actually think I'm getting more multiplaire.
But you're actually getting less.
I'm not. I never played the campaign. Yeah, we're getting more multiplayer.
Let me just straighten it out right to that. Right, the multiplayer, the people who built the multiplayer, the people who built the campaign were 2 separate teams to begin with. So I very seriously doubt that Activision or any company, when they cut something out like that they're just going to put those resources towards multiplayer, because why would they do that when they can basically cut those resources, save that money, sell you the game that the multiplayer they were going to sell you anyways.
You heard how big this map is, right, for Blackout? It is huge, and they haven't even got into the details of this. You're talking about a team that has history in making first-person shooters, right? With all these CODs, Treyarch, you know, historically has been my favorite developer when it comes to COD. And they're going to be putting their time and effort into making a battle royale mode, which is the hottest thing out there. And if you put the time and resources into that, and the gunplay, I swear to God, this is going to blow up. And
the cookie cutter. Listen, you guys can say, look, they got
come out. It's going to be popular for a couple of weeks, and then guess what?
It's better than the couple of hours the campaign lasted.
The next month, everybody's going to be back on Fortnite just like they are right now.
No, not Call of Duty.
Trust me, like I'll take bets on this. I will take bets. We could figure it out. I guarantee you, COD's going to outsell Battlefield 2-1. We could take a bet.
Call
and
of
then
Duty will likely outsell Battlefield because it's Call of Duty, and but you're not getting more. You're getting.
If it was that important, if it was that important to have a campaign. And since we're getting a campaign from Battlefield, they would close that gap, right? But it's not. It's not.
I think it's going to be incredible. I think it's going to be closer this time than it was at any other point. And I also think that you see Activision already damage controlling the campaign stuff by saying, well, yeah, the future ones are definitely going to have a campaign. And it's already kind of leaked out that Modern Warfare 4 next year is going to have a full campaign.
That's great. But here's the deal.
That's what makes it Modern Warfare 4.
Each of the campaigns you guys all liked in Call of Duty, they've all been literally cookie cutter. One had Jon Snow. One had Kevin Spacey in it. Congratulations. It's the same as it was years ago. Follow Captain Price. Follow him. Oh, no.
No. Captain Price was the Modern Warfare.
Who cares?
Jon Snow was the Infinite
My point is it's all cookie cutter. It's on rails. It's on rails. It's an on-rail campaign. It's absolutely trash.
Mooch, if you're getting more, then what's that mean next year is going to be when they're actually
look? Let me just put it first. Listen, let me do a Mooch's here, right? You go and buy a car, and they offer you the leather seats for the same fucking price as the base model. You're not going to be like, nah, I'm never going to use that.
But if they take the leather seats out from me and they give me a better engine, I'm happy. And that's what I care about. So let me tell you something. This is the crap that I'm talking about. You guys are if you guys just want more shit in the bag, it's exactly what I just said. It's shit in the bag. If you're going to take this shit out and make it a quality game, listen, we play, after you guys are done with the 8 hours of campaign and loving the fact that Kevin Spacey or Jon Snow was in it for this year's new Hollywood hit, after you get past that, it's all about the multiplayer. They're giving you 3 zombies off the bat. They're giving you a blackout. And listen, Salty's not just saying that. These guys know that right now, okay, you guys don't have to like PUBG. You don't have to like Fortnite. I'm not talking you into it. I'm only talking about what you get for your money. And they are going to put together probably the best battle royale you're going to play. Period. Hands down. They got the talent and they got the cash. Nobody has the cash like they do.
I'm going to put this out there the same way when Crap was like, I'm going to be 10th Prestige on the Call of Duty 4 remaster within the month. Y'all are going to be playing that Battle Royale within 2 months after.
I got news for you. Hellhammer, I'll say it again. If I played for 2 months, that's better than the 3 hours I played as Jon Snow. Listen, it doesn't matter
that much.
It's trash.
If it's not a big deal, why are they already saying the next one's going to have a campaign?
Crap, that's a rumor just like anything else.
But the Activision, the Treyarch themselves said, hey, yeah, it's something.
Okay, then maybe Treyarch. Listen, here's the thing. You guys said it yourself. We've all said this a million times. The thing is, we all say these things on podcasts, but then you got to listen to what we're saying. Right now, Battle Royale is hot. So right now, they wanted to capitalize. They've got one of the best teams in Treyarch. They got the money behind it. They're going to capitalize now. Now, next year, they'll probably go back to a traditional Call of Duty because Battle Royale will be in 65 different games, and Battle Royale will just become a mode. At this point, they're making it a focal point. So, and they're trying to plant the flag. I mean, listen, it's all hearsay.
Hey, hold on, I got to pay some bills. He says, King Ram says, give me some and a campaign, and you can keep all that other stuff. The only time I tend to play multiplayer in Dark Souls. I didn't even know Dark Souls had multiplayer. But here's the thing for me personally, right? Yeah, you took away the campaign, which, to be honest with you, the last few Call of Duties, aside Black Ops 3, because it had a terrible campaign, the campaign was the only redeeming factor. Infinite Warfare had really bad multiplayer. Advanced Warfare, bad multiplayer, but great story. Call of Duty World War II, I thought, hey, it's a return to form. This is cool. So you took that out. And, you're adding a PUBG mode. I'm not I like PUBG, but I like PUBG, right? I'm not really interested in it. And the zombie stuff I don't care about. And the multiplayer, which is usually okay, like team deathmatch and stuff. Now it's down to 5v5 with superhuman powers, right?
With a grappling hook.
No,
Yep.
it's not
That's super. Listen, if Marvel makes a superhero with just a grappling hook, that's going to be one shitty comic. Listen, that's not what it is.
There's like 5, what is it? Like 5 heroes or something. They got like superpowers. The guy jumps on the ground and pounds his fist on the ground and like blows everybody up or something.
Why does Call of Duty, how many times, listen, Battlefield 1 was World War I. Battlefield 5 is World War II. And each of these things last 2 to 3 years apiece. So for 6 years, you guys are getting boots on the ground. And you just got World War II from Call of Duty. I'm boots on the ground out already. Can I get back to playing video games and having a good time?
Well,
I don't want to walk around tying my boots. I'm done with the boots.
I got you. But to me, it's like, I'm just saying for me personally, as like a Call of Duty fan, they're changing a lot to what makes it Call of Duty, and it's more like Overwatch or something.
No,
and
it's been around since the beginning of time.
If I wanted Overwatch, I'd play Overwatch.
I play Overwatch, and I know for a fact it's not like that. Like, they have abilities, but they're based in reality. Like, when that guy's slamming the ground, he's using like a device. He's not just pulling it out of his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
but
it's like they're adding
stuff,
futuristic stuff, right? But then they want to keep it very strategic and stuff. So it's like Rainbow Six as well. So you're being all tactical. And when it comes to Call of Duty, that's not how I play. I run and gun. It's like a Twitch shooter to me. So it doesn't look like that anymore.
You know for a fact, if you don't evolve with your games, right, they get stale. And people have been saying with Call of Duty, oh, we're getting the same shit every year, same shit, you know. And then they tried this wall running and jumping. People didn't like that, so they need to do something, because if you keep doing the same thing over and over annually, people are going to stop buying your game. It's just the way it happens. So they have to evolve things. They have to try new things.
Overall, Call of Duty fans don't know what they want, though. They want futuristic, and then the other half of the fans want boots on the ground, aka me. And then now that they're changing things up a little bit and they're adding a different, like, spices, I guess, then now people are complaining about the campaign. And maybe you guys don't care about the campaign that much, but there's a reason why everybody else is talking about it, because they want campaign.
Okay, but no, it's not everybody else. It's really the vocal minority, because the reason Call of Duty is the 800-pound gorilla in the room is because people keep playing the multiplayer. People don't play the Call of Duty campaign over and over and over and over and over
again. I know this, Mooch. I play the multiplayer. I know.
This is my point. That you're actually my prime. Like, you're my Exhibit A.
Hey,
yeah, but I like the way Battlefield does it, and that's why I'm going to play that, because I'm happy.
Listen, I'm just talking to this.
Failed Pyromancer says any shooter should have something for everyone, just like Halo always had before Halo 5.
No, but says who? Like, tell that to Fortnite. They only have multiplayer, you know? It's not the same with every game, right?
Steve Tech says, I'm lame for not knowing Dark Souls has multiplayer. about Dark Souls. Apologies. You know, I'm not like, that's not my jam. That's not my bag.
It's my bag, baby.
Here's the thing, right? Like, I would be all in for Black Ops 4, which, by the way, props to Battlefield and DICE for knowing what a Roman numeral is. You know,
props for them to go. Yeah. Also, props for Battlefield for going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, well, no, Battlefield 1, you know, they got that. They were biting off that Microsoft tip.
Yeah, the Xbox One, that really worked out. Go ahead.
Exactly. So you know, like, what I'm saying is, a lot of people do like the campaigns, you know, and like, even if you don't, it's still taking something away that a lot of people could have enjoyed. Like I said, it's like achievements, right? Some people are like, I don't even care about achievements. Well, if you don't care, then it's not a loss for you. You know, it's not a big deal if they're there.
What about the rest of the people that didn't play the campaign, which is the majority of us? Because listen, these guys, like you guys always say this, Microsoft has its numbers. These guys have their numbers. They know what's being played and what's not being played.
But they they did use numbers for Black Ops 3, which was probably the worst campaign in the history of Call of Duty.
If they would have had Infinite Warfare, which I hear that campaign's way better.
Yeah, the Infinite Warfare campaign was really good. In fact, that was the only redeeming factor of that game. Right, so I get it, right? But if campaigns weren't a big deal, then why did they go back and put one in Titanfall 2? Why did they go back and put one in?
Oh, Titanfall 2, you mean that was a real hit?
Well, I mean, look, that came out at a bad time.
That thing was $8 in 2 weeks. Listen,
yeah, it's true.
But they added to it, so we still got the multiplayer, even if, by the way, it wasn't the same.
Foxy, that's my point.
We got the story.
Thank you for proving my point. They actually put, quote unquote, more into Titanfall 2, and you got lesser of a product.
Well, they messed up the multiplayer, which did
listen,
they slowed it down.
They released it as well in a bad time between a couple.
Listen, we can sit here and be law defense lawyers for everything. Okay, that's crap. The game speaks for itself.
Hey, I'll just say this: single player, co-op player, multiplayer, free maps, no loot boxes, no microtransactions.
Oh my
You
God.
sound like Fast Eddie in the 80s. My prices are insane.
Give it to
Battlefield!
me. Give it to me.
When's the last?
I'm ready for Battlefield. Screw Call of Duty.
What's that attack? Was that?
I said I'm ready for Battlefield. Screw Call of Duty. I've never been a big fan of Call of Duty to begin with, and I will say this. You know what? I was amped about the one that just came out last year, and I was all about it. And then all of a sudden, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna bend everybody over and screw you and not give you the campaign because you know what? Campaign's not a big thing, but yet there are people that want the campaign." Like me, okay, I would invest in the campaign. Like you guys are talking about the Infinite Warfare campaign being actually good. Okay, well now it kind of piqued my interest. Maybe I'll go pick it up. But I hate Call of Duty. I'm sorry. I'm gonna fucking. Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
Hey, real quick.
over there.
Hey, when's the last time you had a memorable campaign in Battlefield? I'll wait. I mean.
Bad Company 1 and 2.
It's had pretty. Oh, Bad Company 2 had a really good game.
Bad Company 1 and 2. And I always admit that. No, that's the thing. I always admit that. And all their campaigns are lackluster. And I play it more for the multiplayer. But for the people that want the campaign and they want to enjoy that, what's it called? The full graphics of the game, then you have that option.
Okay, so
when Crap's listing off these features, he's like, "Oh, campaign, this and this," and it's just like, "Well, campaign's kind of crappy usually."
Even if it's a crap campaign, it's still better than Call of Duty has.
You guys will take.
I would rather not.
Yeah, I would rather not. I don't want the crap. You guys hold the crap.
Well,
take the game that matters.
No, I'm pissed off because Call of Duty's campaigns weren't crap to me. I enjoyed them.
Well, you guys got your 12 years. Now we get 1 year. Okay, so there you go. Don't feel bad.
Like them throwing in a campaign is like a big deal to you if you don't play it. It's a big deal to those that do play it. That's my point.
But now you're getting 4 more modes. You're not they're giving you 4 more modes in multiplayer, and that's what the game is known for.
What are you talking about? That's also known for having like a Michael Bay-esque action movie, man. Like I like that. It's like I can't stress that enough.
Fortnite has a campaign, and you don't play it, and no one else does.
I played the campaign. I like the campaign.
Like an hour and a half into it. Listen,
I like the Save the World stuff better than the boots stuff, man. I don't like that.
Yeah, but the is keeping the lights on. You know what I mean?
I guess so, man. Because there's
it's a business, guys. You guys got to understand. They know what they're doing. They're going to capitalize. You're getting more multiplayer.
What I'm trying to get you to understand is they don't care about us. They were going to give you.
I know they don't. I'm getting more multiplayer.
I understand. Listen, they were going to give you just 2 things and still charge you $60.
Now I'm getting 5 multiplayers and no campaign. I'm happy.
The only people that Call of Duty want are the Fortnite people. That's it. They don't care about anybody else. They want those Fortnite kids to come over and play Call of Duty.
Give anybody a server this year? Like, God's sake, let's give somebody a dedicated server, will you? Or good luck running a PUBG mode on peer-to-peer.
Here's the thing. They both come out, a week apart? Call of Duty and Battlefield 5, roughly?
Well, I mean, if you have EA access,
whatever. It doesn't matter. I was just making it's the same time frame is my point. So same time frame. So we'll see. I'm just telling you, it's not about like this, that, or it's just Call of Duty is going to trounce. And here's the reason. It's because Battlefield doesn't take the chances, period. You guys can sit here and bash Call of Duty all day for the decisions they've made. Sometimes you guys are right. Sometimes I think you guys are wrong. But at least they're trying something different. Battlefield 5 is the same as Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3. It's the same thing.
How is it the same? It's completely different.
Listen, if I don't like Battlefield 4, I didn't like Battlefield 1. I also don't like Battlefield 5. They're not getting me, the person that they want. Don't they want the new $60? They've already got the old. You guys are buying it anyways. New $60. What I'm saying to you now is Call of Duty's taking a chance. And you know what? Maybe they're going to get their hand bitten. We're going to find out in a couple of months. But there's a good chance they're going to do what Foxy just said. They're going to get 20% of people they never had that are tired of playing Fortnite and trying Call of Duty. And that is what you do. You keep things relevant and fresh. And I personally appreciate that.
King Ram says, I didn't buy Titanfall 1 because it didn't have a campaign, but I did buy Titanfall 2 because of the story mode. Good call, because it's a great story.
King Ram, did you return Titanfall 2 immediately after that? Because everyone else did. I actually have Titanfall 2 as a coaster right now I'm using. Go ahead.
I still have Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2
me too. I'm using it for coasters and cozies. Yes.
Phil Pyromancer says, Mooch, you have a choice not to play the campaign, but we shouldn't have no option to play one for the same $60.
Listen, times change,
Your
folks.
passion blinds you. That's what he says, by the way, not me.
Well, I understand. I get his point.
the thing that I appreciate about Battlefield, and I know it's not Call of Duty, we know this, and you know they're gonna have this back and forth all the way until like we're old and wrinkled, whatever. But they've always improved. If you go and play the old Battlefield games before Bad Company, they've improved so much, and that's the thing I like is they always keep adding to it. They always play better. The controllers are better. The graphics are better. They always improve. And I feel like Call of Duty is always the same. You're playing futuristic or you're playing boots on the ground. That's it.
The prior to Battlefield, the prior to Bad Company ones are the ones where me and Crapgamer were completely against Battlefield. We're like, that shit sucks.
Yeah. I don't know. And listen, and like I said, I think the case of the matter that, and this podcast has only proved my point in the fact of what I just said a minute ago, is that like, I didn't come on the show tonight to talk the guy in the chat there who doesn't like to hear people's opinions on a talk show. But you know, like, right. But nonetheless, my whole thing is that I'm not here to change your mind on it. I'm here to tell you that what'll happen is Battlefield's numbers will stay relevant in the same. Call of Duty's has the chance of dipping or growing. Okay. They have the chance of dipping or growing in one direction or the other, but Battlefield will do what they do best. And that is stay exactly
I think Battlefield has changed enough.
It hasn't changed at all.
They're adding the building and the destruction and destructible.
They did that in 3.
I understand that, but you're talking about the next generation stuff and the destructible environments. I think
a brick flying loose crap doesn't change my opinion.
It's not just a brick, dude. I'm just talking about like,
you can
destroy the entire houses and stuff. I think that there's a big time fan base for that. They've also said that this is the most customizable Battlefield game, so you can choose your soldiers' looks, weaponry, and all that kind of stuff. So I think that it's going to be something very ambitious and kind of a shakeup. It's a bold move for them. I think it's like how are we going to know what one does and what the other does? Like I think it'll be interesting kind of battle, but I do think that this could be a big. This could be Activision's humbling. So I do think that, hey, we're over 600, man. Hit that like button. I appreciate you guys coming out and checking out the show for sure. Great topics here, man. We've already kind of delved into this for like 45 minutes. I don't know.
I told you we wouldn't get into anything else.
Well, no, it's like, like it's a very passionate subject. Hey, the thing is, man, I was a Call of Duty guy forever, man. Like really, I was.
If you can count the amount of hours that we've put on Call of Duties.
I'm
my God.
Hellhammer, the reason I don't have the glorious gamer score that a lot of people have is I played too much of that back in the day. Way too much Call of Duty.
The only reason mine picked up was because after I ran at the time to play multiplayer games as much and Call of Duty going downhill,
well, I mean,
substituting with other games.
I can't speak for you guys, but I've already said this on the show. Like Call of Duty and Battlefield for me have both jumped the shark. Like I'm done with both of them, to be honest with you. But I mean, if we're just going to sit here and have a good debate on the two, then I mean, of course, I drew the line in the sand and I picked the one I would prefer. If you said, no, Mooch, listen, October, November, December, you got to play one of these. I'm taking COD just because it is an arcadey, fun, fast, pick it up if you got 20 minutes. You want to do zombies in a horde mode type of thing, you got it. You want now the PUBG thing that I do like. Yep. I just told you guys before the show, I downloaded H1Z1 on PlayStation because even though it's a clone of PUBG, I'll just take that in any way I can get it. And I like it. And now you're telling me that $1 million company, not somebody like PUBG who's 8 guys in a garage are making it? I'm willing to try it. So I can't wait to try something out that has that army tactic, that has millions upon millions of dollars spent on it. And Battlefield to me is just Battlefield 1. And again, credit to Salty. Well said. It's just an addition onto that. It's the DLC of, it should have been called Battlefield 1 DLC World War II. And I would have been like, that's kind of nice. You know what I mean? It's all right. I mean, the fact of the matter is Battlefield is too safe. It's too safe. It's the same game. Now, you guys in the audience that love it, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not telling you guys that you should drop your habit and run to the store and pick up Call of Duty. I'm just saying this wasn't the debate is more along the lines of which one do you think is overall more fun for you individually, and for me, it's Call of Duty. I mean, that's the way I look at it.
I understand, and I think it's going to be an interesting battle for sure. But I think that if Battlefield ever had a chance, this would be the year.
Right.
Well, maybe. Well, I don't know if
we said that last time too.
Well, no. When did Battlefield 1 release? Did it release with Infinite Warfare?
Yeah, I think so. It was around the same time as Gears. So yeah. 2006.
Yeah, because Battlefield 1 actually did really well. I don't know how many people they said had on it, but it was a large amount of people. So I it's going to be interesting to see. I know where my money's going. Without a campaign, I know I won't put any time in the Call of Duty, so it's going to be.
That's the other thing. Oh, let me just say that for Crap and his achievement, what do you call it there? Campaign that you're on there. Now, for once, now they took the damn campaign out. Now all of us that put time into Call of Duty will actually get achievements for multiplayer.
Yeah, and people will boost.
Yes,
and they'll boost the achievements. That's why they never did that before. Was because
boost what achievements?
You boost it. You get your friends to join, and they join in the other team. And you get easy kills and headshots and all that.
You can't do that in private. No, you'll still have to be on your team with your four.
But, I'm just telling you, that's how they did it. It was a real problem on like the earlier Call of Duties where people would just have boost.
Crap. Let me let the entire internet know. If I find out that you have 750 gamer score out of 1,000 and your friend helped you get 400 of them, I'm still going to be your friend. I don't give a shit.
I get it. I'm just saying it makes the game unfun.
It makes it a ton of fun because I'm not boosting. I still want my goddamn points.
I get you, but
the
when you got
problem is that when people go in and do that, it's lopsiding the game. So you end up going to a game with.
I got news for you. I'm going to play
and his 3 friends on one team.
I'm going to play with my 3 friends on my team or 4. That's my 5. I have my team of 5. And if they have their team of 5, I don't know how they're boosting. I'm the other team of 5. So how are they boosting?
Team of 5. I can hardly wait for next gen, man. We're going to get down to 3v3.
I don't care if it's 1v1. Who gives
who knows? I mean, we got these powerful machines, and these companies are shrinking the player base for some reason. I don't know.
At the end of all these movies, it's always one hero and one enemy. So what's the difference?
Guys going down to the ground and pound on each other and Call of Duty.
Yeah. You're upset about the ground and pound. Meanwhile, a roof's going to fall on your head on October 11th. And
that's more realistic to me. That's battle.
It is realistic, but you're still dead.
Watch out for the roof.
I know. Hey,
watch out, guys. Here comes
smash.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Is that is that a brick? No, it's not a brick. Whatever. It's the same game every 2 years.
Like it's gonna be fun.
I can't wait. Battlefield all day, every day. Call of Duty.
I'm gonna be playing that Call of Duty game.
Call of Duty keeps breaking my heart, and they try to reel me back in with World War II, and then now they're just taking it away again, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm done with the back and forth, COD.
The only redeeming part about all this, and I like Glitcher joins in there for his yep.
I was like, Phil Spencer style.
Impression, yeah.
Yep.
So, the only good thing about this is, and maybe you guys heard that some of the Titanfall developers left and went back to Infinity Ward. So that makes me incredibly excited to see what Modern Warfare 4 could be, because those were probably my favorite Call of Duties, and you get a campaign and Captain Price, and
as long as they learn from that Modern Warfare 3, which is still a better Call of Duty game than most of the ones that came out the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah. Well,
it's the guys from Modern Warfare 2. There's 3 devs. One of them in particular, he worked on the multiplayer, and obviously I spent many hours on Modern Warfare 2. So hopefully that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, Crapgamer really got wrecked on Modern Warfare 2, but he still hung in there and put in hundreds of hours.
I did.
Licks.
I did. Well, you know what? Hellhammer did the cheating stuff on Modern Warfare.
I didn't do any
of that. Oh my God, that's the game I used to call Modded Warfare, and I still played it because it was so good.
Hacked lobbies. Like I was trying to get 10 prestige in that, and then Hellhammer and everybody just went into a hacked lobby.
I just remember you dashboarding it to keep that win that win.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm a very much a team. Here's the thing. I am a team player.
Exposed.
Right, we're playing domination and capture.
No, anytime anybody didn't want to play like full on like here's strategy call outs and we would start to lose, he'd back out, and then he thought that was people.
No, this is what happened.
He thought that was people trying to sabotage him or something.
I was on a 500 game win streak, right? And people were like, let's lose on purpose. And that was the point where I would dashboard it. Not because we started to lose. It was like people weren't trying and we had a full team. And so then it was like a few times. It wasn't like a big deal. You know what I mean? Like I admit
I never dashboarded. My win streak on there was like 400. So
you dashboarded all the time and you cheated. You used a hack lobby.
I didn't use anything. In fact, only thing I know is I got invited to someplace by accident. Like it was from somebody on the team invited me, and I went in there, and they were already in there, and that's what happened.
Well, let's go ahead and change the subject here now that we've talked Battlefield and Call of Duty. State of Decay 2. It's got some pretty bad reviews, I have to say, after putting in an extended amount of time. It's not as bad as a lot of the reviews. It's a solid, somewhere lands between a 6 and a 7 for me.
Yeah, I would say from what I've played, it's be about a 6 or a 7. I mean, it's just not my type of game because I'm burnt out on zombies. So me talking about it is useless. Like
the real
have fun with it either way at this point.
There's a couple of glaring problems. One, it's not on dedicated servers, which is bad. The second thing is when you play the co-op, you can't progress your game if you're in your friend's game.
I
right?
experienced a lot of frame pacing issues when I played.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, it's buggy.
But it literally, I got what I like to call the PlayStation 3 headache.
That's because it's running. It's unlocked. It's something like it's running between like 40 frames and like 30.
Yeah, it's really bad. Like frames need to be like. I'm not even one of those people. Like I think 60 is ideal. But if you can't hit 60, lock your stuff at 30 at least, because unlock frame rates are awful.
Yeah. So, I mean, and I've run into some glitches and some problems. And, it's like, I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people are trying to make it out to be. But I think that it's, it's not obviously
for the price of the game, for a $30 title. I mean, it's not bad. Right?
What do you guys think? I mean, Salty, I know you're a fan of the game. What are your thoughts on it?
So I waited to pick the game up specifically because, some of the reviews were coming out and, I just wanted to wait to experience it myself. And honestly, I haven't had a game grab my attention like this from Xbox first party in a while. I know it's not first party, but it's exclusive, right?
Yeah. So
when I hop in the game with my friends, it's just the hours just go by, right? Like 6 hours the first night. I think I played like 4 hours last night or whatever. The glitches and stuff like that people are saying that are game breaking, I haven't experienced any of that, honestly. I haven't had any crashes. The only thing I've really experienced is kind of it's like a rubber banding when you're driving, and that's about it, right? But the game itself, when you compare it to the first game, I love the way the game looks. Like when you start the game, the sun is setting, and the way that looks, the contrast and everything else, it looks good. The game looks good to me. The new animations are cool, like the executions when you execute zombies. I came across some people that were in this house and they actually started shooting at us. So we shot back at them. You never know what you're going to experience. I actually had an experience last night where a juggernaut and this horde of zombies came and attacked our home base. And then there was like a countdown, right? It's like, oh, you have a zombie horde coming. You got to prepare. My friend was in the front of the house and I was in the back, and I was freaking out because it was night. And when it's nighttime, it's so dark. You can't see like very far in front of you. So this juggernaut's coming at me and I'm trying to fight him. I'm yelling at my friend. I'm like, hey, get your ass up here. He's like, I'm in the front fighting zombies. It just feels like a Walking Dead simulator to me, honestly. Like the way that you're trying to protect your home base, you got to get resources. It's dangerous to get resources. You got to make relationships with other actual human beings. They could be bad, they can be good. It's the closest thing you're going to get if you're a Walking Dead fan to experience that life, So
and let me just piggyback on what Salty's saying.
Real quick, Stop Six Doc. He says, I think it's good, not as bad as they say it is. Thanks.
Yes. Stop Six Doc's right, man, and thanks for support. Like, to be honest with you, like Salty's right. Everything he just said, there's no contradiction there. Absolutely no contradiction. And I'm a huge Walking Dead fan. I truly love the survival and the community building that's in there, and of course, I love the zombie aspect of it. If it's got zombies, I'm there. We all know that. But where the critique has to come in is the time, the resources, and the money. And here's the thing. Undead Labs, at some point, I don't have it, the tweet in front of me, but it's been sent to me. They said this game was going to be a AAA. Regardless if they were
years ago, they said that. Yeah.
Right. And that was a while ago. I understand that. And somebody I think we were on a podcast with said something along the lines of, well, maybe they were dreaming big and then, things became a reality.
Yeah.
This has been a 4-year cycle. I think people constantly are saying this. They're like, if you played the first one, you'll like this one. This one just added to it. But the amount they added to it, I don't feel is tremendous. There's no game-breaking bugs. I've played it. I've had fun. I just checked my app, so I have an actual time. I have 12 hours into the game. All right, it's not 100 hours like some people, but it's not 2. Okay, I've got 12 hours into the game. I'm decently far along. I think I have 6-7 people in my camp right now. The that I've recruited. Salty's right that you go out there, you never know what you're going to get. I love that. I like that they added I know crap, you're not a fan of it that much, but I like that they added the gas cans and you need to do this, you need to research that. It's a lot of fun. But again, I will say this much. It still feels, and I understand it's a $30 title. I get it. I really do. But it still feels like an arcade game. It doesn't feel like a polished Xbox exclusive.
Yes.
And that's where I have my problem. And when people are sitting, you got to remember when you're watching a lot of people on Twitter, they keep going, there's no game-breaking bugs. This game is fantastic. Well, that's true, but those are the bookends, okay? And I understand we only have 240 characters, but literally, the game doesn't have any game-ending bugs. Then there should be about 4 sentences in between that describes the issues. And then at the end, the game is a lot of fun. That's the truth. So a lot of times people are leaving the middle out. And the middle out is that, a little shame on Microsoft, okay? Because they don't have any big bangers out last year or this year, okay? They really don't. And that's fine. That's fine. I get it. They didn't greenlight projects. They didn't greenlight studios. They didn't have the money. Okay, fine. Then this is my creed. If that's the truth, then the games that you do have coming out shouldn't be in the state of Sea of Thieves, which was lacking content, and you shouldn't have a game that was an arcade game not at least be polished. It could be the same game, no more content. Don't change anything about State of Decay 2, but polished, and it's not polished. And that's where the problem lays, in my opinion.
The polish on the games and the lack of content is the real issue. Like, even if they're just taking it as an A game or a double A game, right? I mean, it doesn't cost much to polish these things up or take much more time to make these games look a little bit better, add a little bit more content at the beginning.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I think Microsoft backed themselves into a corner, per se, because they had all these delays, right? If you look at the game slate that's coming out this year, it was basically a lot of stuff that was supposed to come out in 2017. So they were put in a situation where they're like, well, they probably thought in their heads like, hey, we could delay these things, but we don't have anything to put out, Yeah. So they came out with Game Pass, so like, hey, we can throw this in there. And I know it's not a popular thing, but like, imagine what would happen if they didn't have any games this year. Like, any games were coming out. They delayed Sea of Thieves again, and they delayed State of Decay again, and Crackdown doesn't come out. Like, what the fuck would we be playing right now at this point? And then to add on to Mooch's point that this should be more polished and all that, yeah, it should. It's a disappointing thing. I think the reason why it took 4 years for Undead Labs to make this game is because they have a small dev team, and Microsoft didn't put the money in. If they would have invested more money, it would have been way better, and it should have been better. You talk to people, I'm sure you take a poll, they would rather have a AAA version of this game as opposed to Sea of Thieves, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I'm right there. So. I'll sign that petition.
It's unfortunate because, and I've said this multiple times, this game, Sea of Thieves, both have an incredible spotlight on them because they don't have the luxury of having bigger games around them, right?
Right.
So while Sony fans don't go, oh, well, you bring up Knack 2 and nobody cares because they came around other things,
Yeah. This is literally all Microsoft has, so it's going to get every single thing a criticism.
Sir X-Man said it best. It's a zombie-themed PUBG. That's what it looks like. Everything. Yeah. The chairs are just still. Yeah. The chairs are just that crappy brown. There's no detail.
I think, I think even though people complain this and be like, well, if the gameplay is good, which I agree with to a certain extent, right? Like, I've always been like the gameplay over the graphical side.
Right.
But even with the zombie burnout that they have, just because everything is so zombie oriented now.
Well, the thing is,
could enjoy the game more if it looked a little bit better, if it was a little bit more polished up, and the frame rate was fixed up.
And the other thing about it is,
I couldn't play it for very long because I was starting to get a headache.
It's not Witcher 3.
It's a good game, but it needs more oomph to it.
Well, that's exactly it, Glitcher. That's my point. Like, it's not Witcher 3. This game is a rinse and repeat kind of game, right? You do this, and Salty, you know this now. You're 10 hours in. From what I hear, the difference between 10 hours and 100 hours, yes, you can spruce up your car, you can get a cooler looking backpack. But the point of the matter is that, like, the game pretty much starts to repeat all the reviews. And these are guys that are Xbox guys that were saying, you know what, great game, Mooch, but realistically, it gets extremely, like, Luke Gaming is a great, I like to read their reviews. And they said that it just gets extremely, extremely repetitive. So let's just take this into consideration. I'm not a developer. I don't pretend to be one on TV. But the point of the matter is that if you have a game that's maybe up to 40, 50, 60, 70 hours, and a lot of it is the same kind of tasks over and over, you can say, well, again, like I said, it's not Witcher 3, so it doesn't have these in-depth stories and things going on. Where did 4 years go where you couldn't polish the command centers and make things a little bit more crisp? Like when I shut the door right now, your character does like a wacky high five in the air, and then the door 2 seconds later goes, and you're like, that's something I would make.
My door didn't exist for about 10 minutes, to be honest.
Right, doors don't exist. Doors don't pop in. Right. This is what I'm saying. And I understand it's a small dev team. And I know Crap made a sound on Sunday at MNC when the minute I made this, he was like, ugh. But here's my thing. Okay. Hellblade was a small team.
Yeah.
Like the person that was the producer was also the actress. Okay. Yeah, that's how small they were. And that game is polished and it looks beautiful.
Yeah. You can say small, you can say
whatever
small dev team all the time, all you want. But when it comes to like little things being polished, like stuff that you interact with all the time, right? Like the front door, or something like that you interact with literally thousands of times.
Like who from Microsoft went to Undead Labs and saw the door and was like, "This shit's ready to go out."
Yeah,
it's gold.
I'm saying like stuff like that should definitely not.
I would have been like, guys, can we fix the doors?
Or how about that pitch black night where you can't see anything?
You can't see anything at night.
Yeah, dude. I turned the gamma up all the way and it's still fucking black.
You can't if it's nighttime out, I'll just stay in the house and just leave the controller on the ground and just wait for the daytime to come because I have lost 3 cars because I'm like, can I turn here? And I'm squinting, and hell, ever tell you I can't see in real life at night.
That's true. It does have some night blindness in real life. So.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there squinting like, is that a road? And I turn it and the car flips off a bridge or something, or off the
rock. That sounds like a really fun stream to watch.
Yeah, I know, right?
Watch that.
Z Black Rider says Witcher 3 had no bugs. I didn't say that. I said it's no Witcher 3, meaning like it doesn't have the story and the in-depthness. So it's a very, listen, I wouldn't use the words, it's not a shallow game, but it's very, very simplistic in its nature.
You know what? So, if I had to describe it, it's like The Sims kind of with
it's like The Sims. Yeah, it's like The Sims.
There's a lot of micromanagement. You got to make sure that the people back at your base
My
are
brother
happy.
loves that stuff.
There's
a reason why he's been playing this game since early access, and he hasn't stopped. And I like it. He doesn't get into the whole community thing, so obviously he plays on his own and he has his own thoughts, whatever, on that situation. And I hear everything from the community and everybody, and I haven't even tried the game yet. But I asked him, "Hey, how's the game?" And he's like, "Good." I'm like, "How's it playing?" "It's awesome." I'm like, "Oh, no bugs?" And he's like, "Nope." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, bye." And I just leave him playing because he hasn't complained to me about a single thing in that game.
Yeah.
Well, you guys got to remember too, Cap. You got to explain this to people. People go, can't we just play games? Why are we? Listen, I got news for you. Listen, you can definitely do it like Foxy's brother. He's enjoying the game. I would never, ever deter him from enjoying that game. But like when you come to the podcast or you're on Twitter and you're following the gaming media or the YouTube media, whatever you want to call it, when you're following people that have to do discussions, anywhere from 7 days a week to 4 days a week, depending on where you're listening. Like there's going to be the pros and cons. It's happening in sports. It happens in news. It happens in gaming. And so in various other subjects. So it's not that we're sitting here bashing. People misunderstand that all the time. Like, you guys are just bashing.
I like the game. I think it's addictive. Like Salty said, you start playing it, and then 3 hours later, you know what I'm saying? So
like tonight's a perfect night. Like, right? Like I'm not gonna do the guys that I usually do a raid with. They're raiding right now, so I'm not gonna do Destiny. Tonight's a perfect night to take 2 hours after this. And if someone wants to join my world, absolutely, you're more than welcome. Or I can just kind of chill, zone out. Crap, much how you said you like Sea of Thieves.
Yeah,
it's a very chill game. You said there's definitely a lot missing, but the way you play it,
there's just snakes.
Snakes you keep bringing up. But like,
and the snakes don't even move. They just stand there.
They don't. But they don't move, but they always hit you.
Yeah, they do.
Right? That's a blessing. But my whole thing about it is that like this game here is a chill game for me. Like I don't mean chill. Like you can be on the edge of your seat actually with parts of it. But I mean at the same time, it's a game that you can kind of strategize. You can look at the map. You've got people that need your help. You've got the blood plague you got to go after. There's things you have to keep building as far as resources. I will say this much: the micromanaging that you're talking about, Crap. The gas thing doesn't bother me. There's plenty of gas, and there's ways to carry gas in your vehicle that make things easy. Shout out to Dealer for a lot of. I played with Dealer, and we got a lot of different. He showed me a lot of different shortcuts in the game that made the game a lot more fun. But I will say this much: the whole food ration, and then hey, like you'll be out there in the middle of like a fight with zombies, and all of a sudden somebody will be like, somebody in your community is like, "Hey, I decided to leave." And when I went, I mistakenly lost 3, and they'll say whatever, whether it be the constructing thing.
I
spilled coffee all over my pants. Right. Yeah. And I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, I'm out here killing myself. And I know it's supposed to be more realistic, but I don't appreciate my AI stabbing me in the back.
The problem that I'm having with it, I've had one bad glitch where I was out on a mission with 2 characters, and I'd spent time leveling up these characters. A Juggernaut hit my character and I went flying, and I told this yesterday on RDX. I went flying. The Juggernaut hit me so hard that it knocked like whatever it is. Like I couldn't bring up anything on the screen anymore. Right?
Knocked him out of the game.
It did. So there's that you could go back to, right? Like go back or whatever. I was like, oh, it's a glitch. I'll get out of this. Nope, it wouldn't let me bring up anything. Right? So then the Juggernaut grabbed me and killed me. But so I lost that player, and I lost the other one too. So I lost 2 players due to that glitch, but I mean, it's not really like a big deal. I didn't like flip out or anything, but I think the game's fun. It can be addicting.
Yes.
The micromanaging is okay. I like the fuel thing is a little bit annoying to me, but I get it. Like I know why they put.
I haven't run into a fuel issue, and I've gone quite far on the first map. Like I said, I just put one in the trunk, and off you go. I'm
having trouble leveling up my base to the 3rd part. It's like you need this skills and this and that.
Yeah, I'm also not. I'm at level 2.
You're pretty bad at those kind of games, anyways. So.
Says the guy who quit in 45 minutes.
Says the person who made 1 potion in Witcher.
Well, okay, the Witcher
45 minutes in, I couldn't play the game anymore because I didn't get into it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, you know what? It's true. Like, okay, The Witcher 3, and I've told this story before. They don't name the potions like it should just be called a health potion, right? Right. It's very confusing. So I told Hellhammer, I'm like, dude, I just always ran around like with food. So like I get hit with stuff, and so I just eat food, right? Just like in real life. Right. So then like I'm like, is there a way to get potions for health? He's like, yeah, it's he goes, let me see. He goes, you've created 1 potion. And I'm like, yeah, how the hell am I supposed to know, Even though it has
descriptions for all the different types of stuff.
Some kind of swallow.
That was awesome crap. I was just listening to what you said. That was really great. You're like, you're like, when I needed health, I eat food, like in real life. So then I'm picturing Crap gets into a car accident. He just pulls out a sub and starts eating.
No.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
No. He got bananas. A whole bunch of bananas.
Yeah, only bananas. Just like in Sea of Thieves, right? Like, hey, you're losing health. Oh, let me eat a banana.
That's good stuff.
Hey, speaking of Sea of Thieves, it's getting the Hungering Deep update on the 29th, Mooch. Mooch was happy about this. He was DMing me going, man, I can't wait to play this.
All 5 people playing Sea of Thieves right now.
It was actually the opposite of that DM. But, the thing about it is, and listen, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and bash Sea of Thieves. I'm not. I'm really not. All
it's
I'm
got a
say is, it's okay. So, like,
I didn't see it.
Here's the problem. The problem is what I told Crap before it came out, and it's only because I have the experience of playing. It doesn't make me a professional. I'm just saying I played the Destiny thing, and the problem is when you have the community that was there, there's nobody there anymore. And will this bring people back? I think it'll bring people back that own it to play it. Absolutely. They're going to want to see what this game's potential is. The problem is those big numbers you saw with the Game Pass users, those people are gone. The people that bought it for a month, they're not going to come back and pay another $10 to see what this DLC is all about. They're already gone. They're on to the next one. And there's a lot of games coming out now.
Yeah, well, the good news is I think some people did try Game Pass for State of Decay 2. So why not when they come back?
Good point.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of a smart move to release it.
Yes, it was
within 2 months of each other because people that did leave, then they re-up for State of Decay 2, and then they'll be able to jump back in and play this.
Absolutely.
So if you guys didn't know what's included with this, it's obviously that new Megalodon or whatever. There's also a drum, a trumpet, tattoo customization. And
you might want to explain what a Megalodon is to them.
They play the drum now throughout the game.
Yeah. You can play a drum. Like you can have a whole band. I'm looking forward to it. But
that's awesome.
Exactly.
So can you explain what a Megalodon is?
It's like a giant shark.
Yeah, okay. I got a picture from my friend. He's like, did you see this? And the size of the shark, like the guy that's in the water is like as big as his eye. He has 2 eyes. Did you guys see this?
Yeah, I saw it.
And was the world's biggest shark.
And I got to say, it's not lacking.
Huge.
Oh, we'll see about that.
Ba-doom.
Boom, boom. Yeah, like so. Look, I think I'm excited to go back into it.
Yeah.
I know some people are down on it or whatever. I like it. This is what opinions is all about, right? Like I reviewed State of Decay 2. I was slightly disappointed. I'm still having fun with it. It's still it could have been so much more, and it just makes you realize that Microsoft at some point, literally, and I said this yesterday too, and I've been saying it, probably stopped development on stuff and probably stopped investing. So, it's weird because Microsoft is like almost $1 trillion company, and they were just like, hey, let's stop spending money on games for our game system. And,
I would just need games for a video game system. Come on, get out of here. Right. Who would have thought?
Microsoft gave Xbox a like $5 allowance or something.
They did. They're finding stuff in the
it was nice of them to break a 5 on the Xbox allowance.
It's so weird, man.
I'm looking forward to it though. I really want a reason to get back into it. I want to get some more Chivos, so I hope that it's good, and I'm gonna jump back in when that comes out. When is it?
The 29th.
something.
Tuesday.
There it is.
Yeah. So
I gotta get back in there.
We're closing in on it. We actually got some PS4 news. And this I found interesting. Sony says the PS4 is in the last part of its life, but actually kind of said don't expect anything for a few years in terms of like the PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5 2020, 2021.
Yeah. So he says looking forward, it seems likely that the next 3 years will include price drops for the PS4, a family of systems, and he stated a plan to focus on exclusives and digital services through the PS4. He says we need to depart from the traditional way of looking at the console life. We're no longer in a time when you can just think about the console or just about the network like they're two different things. So it seems like they're taking a Microsoft sort of approach.
Well, that's what everybody's going to start doing because the hardware isn't. There's no money in the hardware side really anymore.
Yeah,
so the money is in the software. It's in the services and that sort of thing. And that's why you're going to see all the companies are going to start doing that. Maybe not Nintendo.
Here's his exact quote, and like Mooch, you tell me what you think. He says, we will use the next 3 years to prepare the next step, to crouch down so that we can jump higher in the future.
Well, everybody's already guessed it, like CNET and a bunch of other places, that Sony is hoping that in the next 3 to 4 years, the internet speeds and reliability go up considerably, and they're going to try their hand out in streaming.
Yeah, there was an article. Yeah, there was an article saying that they're thinking of taking not Microsoft's approach, but actually Nintendo's approach. They want to make gaming portable, and that's something that it was just an opinion piece. But you can read into what Crap just said, and you can see where it definitely does pave a road. Is it the road they take? I don't know, but it does pave a road for that. We all know this is coming down the pipe. We don't know when though. It could be the next generation. It could be the generation after that. But the one thing that I just find really interesting is that Sony is still, I think, even with the changes they will make for the PS5, I still think they'll be the most traditional. I still think they'll hold the most traditional roots to gaming, even if they make a change.
Well, did you also hear, because maybe a lot of people didn't know GameFly, who's the rental service, also did a streaming service, and EA bought that streaming service.
Right. Well, look, game streaming is like, as much as I don't think it's a good idea, I think that and a lot of other people, that's gonna be the next step eventually. I'm not saying that's gonna be next generation, but it's the next step eventually.
They're hoping that it reaches people that maybe wouldn't normally be gamers.
Well, look, here's the thing: you got to look at it from the business model perspective too, right? You don't have to sit there and pay the money for dev and research and development for new hardware every couple of years. You don't have to pay all that extra money out to produce this hardware, where no company really makes much money off of hardware. Just because of the nature of the beast, you either lose money or you make $5 a system sale, versus you could sell something like a Roku box, make 75% profit off of that, and then all your money off of services.
Something really ballsy is happening, and no one's really talking about it. Resident Evil 7 is going to be coming to the Switch via the
streaming
cloud.
only.
Yeah.
In Japan.
And
it's
that's
gonna be laggy as hell.
Well, you know, Crap,
Well-
the thing is, it's not fair to say that. You know, all we keep saying, you say streaming. You know, you're like a DJ at like a club that has 8 people in it. You're like, I say streaming, you say laggy, streaming, laggy, streaming.
That whole scenario
laggy.
with
It's like
that whole
we have-
scenario
we
with
have
Resident Evil
experience.
7 is beyond crazy. Did you guys even read that article? That was crazy on how they
Yeah.
explained it. I
Yeah.
was like,
We look, see, the problem is that we think as ourselves, or at least like me and Crapgamer, you think streaming as being laggy or being real bad or a lot of latency and that sort of thing, because we have, you know, basically crap internet. A lot of places in the world, like South Korea, just announced that they're coming out with like, 1 gigabyte a second down. I said gigabyte, not gigabit internet, fiber optic throughout most of the country, coming to, throughout the later part of this year and the first half of next. That's extremely good, right?
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of places are getting faster and faster, gigabit and gigabyte internet all over the world. So internet's getting.
So when you're talking right, Hellhammer's right, and when you're starting to talk, if you're only talking 3 years out, yeah, you have a good argument to say it's not there yet. You start talking the next iteration or the mid-gens of the next.
You're
like,
talking
things can happen.
Yeah, you talk 6-7 years out, and I can almost guarantee you that it would be foolish from a business standpoint for you to release traditional hardware. I'm saying that as just from a business standpoint and a technical standpoint. Not that I necessarily think it's
going to release hardware.
I still think there'll be hardware too.
There'll still be hardware, but it's going to be a stream box.
Well, no, here's the thing. If they were to do that, then Microsoft's not going to make any money off that, because Microsoft has like 4 exclusives, right? And these other companies are going to do that for themselves.
Well, I mean,
so they're going to need a box that's going to play these games.
I mean, that's what you think, but I mean, look, when you look at the difference of and I'm saying next generation, it's definitely not going to be like you might see some doubling down on people trying to try this out, the streaming aspects. But the following generation, you're going to see a lot of places going just that way. And the reason being is that you'll be once internet speeds reach the necessary levels across the board, you'll be able to do a hell of a lot more graphically and physics and everything else with a server farm than you could ever do with a box sitting in your living room.
Well, here's the thing. There's Sony already tried this. There's a lot of people that
Sony tried this years ago and currently where this stuff where it's not where it's supposed to be, where it's not where it's going to be at for that. Yeah. Again, I'm not saying I'm for it. I just think that you're going to see a lot of changes.
The problem is you see a lot of people like, you think PC gamers are going to be in for that. No, they like their rigs. And I think even Phil Spencer's like, yeah, we're always going to need some kind of dedicated hardware to really take the graphically intensive games, because you're talking about like, are you going to play a Call of Duty? Like we're playing games at 4K right now, and we're playing them online at 4K 60 to do an internet stream of a game where you're streaming the game, also playing on the internet at 4K 60. I mean, I think that's going to take an incredible amount of internet, right?
Yeah.
Not really.
You better not have caps. That's all I got to say.
Data caps are gonna be a thing in the past.
Here's the deal. Like, if you look back in the past and you would have told people, "Hey, you're gonna have an all digital game library," they would have been like, "What? I'm not gonna give you my physical disc, right?"
That was 4 years ago.
True.
So
people were shitting themselves.
Well, yeah, but that's the exception.
But she went from the majority in 2013 to the minority in 2018. And that's the thing. And that's a short period of time.
Y9 Power says Sony ponies want backwards compatibility now on PS5. What happened to PS5 don't need no backwards compatibility.
Short memory.
Yeah, well, it's because they invested so much money on their games and they're realizing, hey, it's kind of smart to be able to take these with us. Right. Crazy. So
crazy.
Don't
here's
tell
the
that
thing.
to Nintendo though.
Microsoft is going to spend some time talking about cloud stuff this E3, but it's not exactly what you guys think. I mean, there might be some of that like stream to your phone or whatever, but word is that they're doing like cloud compute, like the Crackdown 3 stuff with multiple partners.
And a lot of that cloud compute stuff though is the foreshadowing or forebearing of them testing to see how they could do this, to where they can either release stuff and have it purely streaming, or where they can release hardware that's far below what they need to do something and do most of the computations off-site.
Doesn't that make you feel bad? Like maybe and I'm not bashing Microsoft, but like they need to make up their mind what they're going to do. In 2013, they're like, here's an Xbox One, It's cloud powered. And then they didn't say anything about the cloud for years because it was a big joke. And then they're like, here's this powerful 4K box. And now they're going back to cloud power.
I mean,
because it wasn't ready then. Because everything
Microsoft
has to be messed with and tested by like multiple different companies in different ways. And yeah, technology is getting better every time. So now maybe they feel like they're more ready, prepared for that.
Yeah, I mean,
test it out. And I know it's going to happen like in a couple of years and whatnot. I still like having options where, you know, I could choose to do that or I could choose to have my disc because I do have digital games. And if I really like them enough, I go out of my way and I pick them up when they're on sale. Either way.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that the streaming stuff, whether it be like a full-on stream, like what Sony tried, or it's going to be like the next consoles they release aren't going to be nearly as powerful as you would expect, and a lot of the computations are going to be done off-site. It's going to be something that's going to be realized at some point within probably again not this upcoming generation, but the following one. And people are going to adjust to it either way. Like PC gamers to build their own rigs. The PC gamers. A lot of those people, they adjusted to everything else, right? Like they adjusted to not originally PC in like the late 90s, early 2000s, couldn't even come close to consoles. And then they adjusted to having the more powerful side. Or
I just don't think there's ever going to be a point. I mean, doesn't that put AMD and NVIDIA, all these places out of business?
No, because who you think's going to be providing the hardware for the server farm?
And I've said this multiple times. If it ever comes down to I don't have an option to own my games or buy them digitally or physically, and it has to be streaming, I think that's the point when I'm out. You know,
I don't get that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like enjoying the game right now, crap. You're buying all of them digitally. You don't own shit.
Well, you know what? I own them more than if my internet's. I mean, I don't do this a lot. But if it is down or it's fuzzy or somebody else wants to hop on and play. And by the way, I've already covered this a million times. There's no upgrading. I have the best that you can get in the area. Right. By the way, and there's no plans to. They're not going to do fiber optics or anything like that anytime soon here. So hell, if I'm on Netflix and Hellhammer's on Netflix, the quality goes down to shit. So
here's the thing, though. Right now, listen. Here's the reason I say we have to at this point refrain from the word never, because just in 2013, people were saying they'll never go digital. Everyone's digital. People
I get what
like,
you're saying, but
DRM. People are like, give me DRM.
I think it's easier to take music or your movies sort of that way. I think it's much more difficult to take something we consume like a game. And I think there's going to be a big pushback, especially in America. I know that this is big in like China. Like, look, they've been big in the streaming games in like China and stuff for a long time already. But here in America, we've had the option to do this for over a decade now, and nobody's done it.
Well, because no service has ever been quality enough to
technology.
Do it.
Right.
So the problem is, right? Like Sony tried it. Sony had a subpar service. They bought Gaikai, which was already a subpar company. This is early tech demo type stuff. Basically, they bought the alpha version of streaming games, right? Yeah. Like. That's literally what they did. And then at that point in time, too, you're looking at this is stuff that, just they bought Gaikai. When the PS3 was still out. So was still, the current system. So you're looking at quite a bit of time and difference in technology and cloud power and cloud compute. Like even at that point, cloud computing and people using, basically servers for more than just running, hey, here's a website or here's your game server, we're not doing really much any computations this side, was basically still kind of unheard of. So, but this stuff is these data centers and stuff are building up all over the place now, right? Like, it's not like there used to be and that's another problem that Sony had, is those cloud compute servers, they probably only had a East Coast and a West Coast set of servers, and that was it.
Right. And I mean, realistically, I understand what Crap's saying, and I really do. And I'm not going to sit here and talk him out of his feelings, but I'll just say this much. If your internet's down, we're not playing games now. So, like, I mean,
I have that option, though. I mean, I got a lot of stuff I can play. I mean, let's just.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I could play solitaire. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do when the power goes out. But
I'm saying, I could. But here's the thing: if it drops and then comes back on, I don't even notice. If it drops when I'm playing a game where I'm streaming it, you're going to notice because it's going to cut you off and you're going to lose your progress and all that kind of stuff.
And those
saved on the server side. So basically, most likely, something like that were to happen, once it detects that like you're disconnected, it'll send the pause. It'll basically pause the game until you reconnect.
That's why I think Hellhammer's right. I think
that's kind of lame though. Like, I don't want to play. Hit that like button. No Snap It Smell is right. 200 likes to over 600 watching. Come on, guys. I mean, we're killing it here. We're doing an awesome job. But yeah, so for me personally, I don't want to do pixelated stuff or
right.
Well, I mean, with the technology that's coming though, you're gonna see less and less of an issue for a lot of the stuff.
I like Phil's take on it. We're always gonna need that dedicated box that pushes out the real graphical power. I like that take on it.
I tend to disagree with that, especially when you see the stuff that's coming out for server sides. And you start to see some of these high-end graphics cards and stuff like that are coming out that's basically going to be able to stack these things like 100,000 of these.
But again, it's up to consumers. I mean, if consumers fight back, then it's not going to be a thing.
I think it's just easy to get caught up in the present and not realize how fast technology moves. You know, like if you look 5 years in the past, like I was saying with digital games, I never in my lifetime thought I would go completely digital with games. And
Me
like
too.
with internet speeds, you know, internet speeds and the way they're going almost 5G now with mobile, you know, mobile and stuff like that. So.
Even though where we're at, we're probably not going to get an upgrade internet probably for like another year or two. It's still going to eventually happen at some point, right? Because what happens is that the FCC continuously ups what's considered broadband internet, right? Like what's required to be able to market your internet as broadband or as high speed. So it used to be, I think 10. I think it was 10 up until very recently, and then they moved it to 20, and now the minimum that they have to market it is 25. Right, and that doesn't sound like very much. Well, but at the end of the day, eventually that's going to move up, you know, in another year, so to 45.
I believe everything. See, everything you're saying, Hellhammer, I buy into. I do, and I think, but I think to just get back to like today's day and age, what Salty said kind of rings home with the audience, you know, because what you're talking about is the future, but a lot of those numbers and statistics people aren't reading into. What Salty said that you've really got to kind of stop and think at how fast we're moving here. Is this generation is what now? It's 5 years deep. We're 5 years into this generation, and what Salty said is the way I felt. In 2013, even though I was not negative on digital, I was not negative. I was in my own mind saying I'm 70-30 physical. And now I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I'm 95-5 digital. And I mean, I even said months back, going back 6-7 months ago, I was buying half of my PS4 games physical. Now I'm buying all my PS4 games digital. So I'm done with physical for the most part.
Going all in.
I am. I really am. And the only reason I would have a physical copy is if like somebody was like, Mooch, here's a copy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
physical copy. Which part of doing you're mooching something from Nebraska.
The easy way to gauge that, right, is that I know a lot of people who I would consider more casual gamers. You know, they were the people who would go to GameStop, pick up a game, like not look at a review, whatever, just be like, yeah, that looks kind of cool. Buy it, go home, play it for a few hours here or there, whatever. Now I see a lot of the people that I know like that. They just go on to either PlayStation or Xbox online. They look at a cool game, they buy it, they play it. That's it, done. They don't have to go to the store. They don't have to go do anything. They get off of work late, whatever. They don't have to worry about it. They get their game whenever they want.
I'm never streaming games if that's the only option. I'm just saying.
Hey, I think the problem Microsoft has is they're ahead of the game when they look at like analytics and technology and stuff like that. You saw that with kind of the Kinect and stuff. They push out stuff when it's before its time, but like if you look at
Microsoft's had that issue forever, actually.
Right? Yeah, and then it's just like you look at the cloud situation, like how much they're investing in that. It's going to be interesting going forward to see where they're at with this game.
There's a reason why all these companies, right? Google, Microsoft. I mean, basically any tech company that's worth their salt, all investing in server farms. Like it's not just to run the next generation of apps or video streaming.
It's not to hold your emails.
Because all that stuff is already working fine, and there's no reinventing that wheel. This is for something big, and it's for. Everything's going to be interconnected and running remotely. It's more secure too.
The positive side of that too is look at all the people at launch day, right? Like, you know, the internet, especially with the internet now, you hear everybody time somebody stubs their toe, you hear about it on Twitter. So like every time, right? Everybody brings their console. I got a lemon. Does yours sound like this? And you're like, oh, here we go. 3 weeks does yours look and sound like this?
Jet engine,
right? So yeah, exactly. Well, that's actually just a perk on the PS4, but no, realistically, like the one thing that's nice about that, and this is all concept pie in the sky stuff, okay, guys? So take this with a grain of salt. But it is nice. Like with digital, you don't worry about scratch discs anymore, right? That's all gone. You don't even think about that. So when this stuff does come to fruition years from now, this is not to get crap bummed out. It's years from now. When that happens, you don't have to worry about your lemon or the box. The only one they had left in your pre-order was a box that looked like it was kicked by Ace Ventura in the beginning of that movie. And it's like you finally don't have to worry about all that nonsense. Yeah.
And also, you're not going to have to worry about, hey, a year and a half down the road,
right?
My $500 or $600 console
is a paper
weight. Buy another one.
I'm not worried about that stuff at all because
you're going to be probably spending $50 for a replacement or $100.
I'm out, man. That look, I've got thousands of games.
You're not out at all.
Yeah,
he's going to work on that backlog.
I'll be
okay. Because here's what's gonna.
It means what your name's Crapgamer. You game 90% of your day. All of a sudden, they're gonna move it to the cloud, and you're gonna take up knitting?
No, I have absolutely no.
No, he's gonna change his YouTube name to Backlog Gamer. That's all you're gonna see.
Backlog Gamer. And again, I'm not a huge fan of the cloud gaming thing either. At least
not right now. We don't know what it is. Yeah.
Plus, we like owning our games, whether they be digital or physical.
What you're gonna see another big difference too is that there's not gonna be any issue with, hey, this is backwards compatibility or whatever, because these server farms and stuff basically is gonna hard emulate basically any console you want that's ever been in existence.
Hey, speaking of Twitter announcements, Albert Pinello announced that he's working at Amazon. His first full day
I saw
today.
that.
Oh, surprise!
And you know what I did? I clicked on his Twitter page so it opened up, and it was funny because. He was like, he named the places he worked. He's like, hi, I'm Albert Pernell, and I work at Amazon. And then he named the group that he's working for. And he's like, formerly used to work at Xbox, Sega, EA, and an ice cream stand that was next door to my neighbor's house. And I'm like, wow, he just threw 20 years of Xbox or whatever he put in there. And he mentioned it right next to Kmart department stores. And I was like, wow, boy, a lot of love there. I don't know. For some reason, look, I'm happy for Albert. I don't agree with. I think Albert was a very, very intelligent man. I thought he did a lot of work. I know he was marketing and this and that, but listen, the guy's been interviewed.
Marketing? What marketing?
Right? What marketing? Right? Yeah, they don't even know what a TV is over in Redmond.
Nobody uses TVs.
Of course not.
They don't watch ads anymore, dude.
No, I mean, by the way, Fear the Walking Dead this past Sunday. 4 God of War commercials, and God of War has been out for ages. I just want to put that on record.
Anybody that watches my channel knows that God of War is always on every ad. It's ridiculous.
Crap, I think we need to do more God of War facts. I think because a new fact would be after God of War has been released for 6 years, God of War still remains on television.
Because they're smart, you do the advertisements and you're like, man, Hellhammer will tell you there used to be that, and I didn't like that Last of Us game, but when that game originally came out, those commercials made it look really good.
Oh yeah, it did.
I can tell Hellhammer, just like what Fallout 4 does, right?
Fallout
always sucker Hellhammer.
Gets me. They always get me.
He's like, wow, that Fallout 4 looks great. Look at that trailer, and I'm like, dude, you get it, and you're not gonna like it, and you're gonna come to me and say I don't like it. And so he got it, and then he says, hey, I don't like it.
Hey, to be fair, I put more time into this one Fallout than I did any other one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I bought him Fallout New Vegas, the collector's edition, for his birthday.
Oh man, I got 4 or 5 hours on that game.
Woo!
Yeah, that's like when I ask him, I'm like, did you play God of War yet? Because I let him borrow that because I bought physical. And he's like, no, not yet. So
I'm curious here with the panel things. I mean, I just want to end on one sentence or two. I just want to say, I think Albert and the staff that's there now, I just think Albert was more of a traditional, he was there from the OG Xbox.
Yeah.
So he's a traditional guy. The way that you like the OG Xbox, the way that you like the way the 360 was run, that's his mentality. That was the way I think he was moving forward with it.
I would have got out too if that was the case. Yeah,
and I think that Albert didn't see eye to eye with these guys, with their with the way that Phil runs it. And I think he was very, very kindly and taken care of because of his time, asked to resign.
Could have been, yeah. Oh well, it's funny. I don't know if you saw this. Major Nelson was on Twitter the other day, and he goes, we're going to be at E3 2018, something. And someone responded, that sounds like a threat. And Major Nelson actually apologized.
Yeah,
right? And then the guy's like, I was just joking. But it's like, that's the mentality of Xbox right now, like it or
It's really
lump
sad
it.
state of affairs.
It is.
It's
It's
a
like
sad state of affairs.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
they,
kind
they
of
really need to. They need to get some of that Simpsons and Bone Storm mentality. Buy me an Xbox or go to hell.
Yeah, I would love to see an Xbox commercial that says "Buy me an Xbox One, Mom," or "Go to hell." You know, like that would be some epic type of marketing in my.
I'd
opinion.
go out and buy an extra Xbox just for that.
Yeah, I would too. I'd buy two.
Yeah,
Why not?
I do. Yeah, it's funny. There's people who buy like things like Nike or this and that because they do a crazy logo or a spin or an awesome slogan. People dig that stuff, man. I mean, it is what it is. And
Yeah, well, people like to have like to associate with like brands and that sort of stuff that like speak to them or that they feel like a personal connection to. And Microsoft has since lost that connection with people, really. So
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys this: Microsoft, it looks like, is going to have a 2-hour E3 this year.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Before you guys even get into this, hit that like button. Let's get to 300 likes, folks.
do they even have their date for when their E3 is? Like,
Yeah,
what?
they've had their date for a while
June
now.
10th.
June 10th.
Yeah, Sunday.
I have to make
Yeah,
sure
like
to make
in
that
4
I have to
o'clock
make
in the
sure to put
afternoon or
in that
something?
request.
Yeah, it's like 4 o'clock in the
4 o'clock,
afternoon.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
every E3 I end up missing it because I always end up working that day, and I come home and I'm like, what's all this that I missed? In the past year hasn't been too much, but
Yeah. Well, this year, I mean, here's the funny thing, like the narrative. I love how the narrative switches, right? Remember floor space? They're like, Microsoft has the smallest floor space ever. And now they're like, no, we've got our own theater. We're, it's going to be fine. And then everybody's like, well, floor space don't really matter. Last year, remember where it was rumored that they were only going to do an hour-long show? Because they don't have any games. And then they're like, no, we're really, it's going to be like an hour and 45 minutes. It's going to be crazy. And Sony did less than an hour, right?
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, the amount of time didn't matter. So now they've got 2 hours, and that doesn't matter because it's all going to be indies and it's all going to be multiplats, right? First of all, I thought Microsoft didn't have any deals for multiplats, right? That was the thing. Second of all, the first 3+ years of the PlayStation 4's life was the E3s were all indies and multiplats.
Right.
So, and they won every year according to the Sony fans in the media.
course.
So, like, what's the deal? What do you guys think?
Apparently, indies are not in anymore.
Oh,
So yeah, and apparently nobody remembers what happened last year at E3. People were like, "Yeah, Xbox showed a lot of games, but they can't name them, I guess." But it is what it is. I guess. I think they added more hours just so we can have more Minecraft. Woo!
Minecraft.
They moved into their own theater and they're going to take 2 hours for more damage control, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
They're like, here's State of Decay 2.5.
No, you know what they could do? They could pull a record and be like, State of Decay 2 Definitive Edition.
True. I mean,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm still trying to figure out how to get my ass out to LA to go see this show, man. I'm really excited.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
You just hop in a plane and then go there, and they're like, "Hey,
Well,
welcome."
I'm not the richest man in the world, crap.
You can start walking right now.
I mean,
Oh, man.
I also thought about whoring myself out to some women, you know.
You want to be a man whore, huh?
Well, they'll pay me to keep my clothes on, so I win on that one.
So that'll get you like $1, but you need to come up with the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil Spencer's a good guy. Just be like, "Hey, man, I know Crapgamer. Can you get me into E3?" And he'll be like,
hell no.
"Yeah." He'll be like, "Crapgamer is banned from E3. You're not allowed in here." And that's
I don't know.
Order?
He might just say nope, and that's it.
Yeah, nope.
yeah, right. Nope.
Oh yeah.
Shut it down and get out of here.
Hey, Phil, how's things going, man? Are we gonna get any kind of great exclusive announcements that we haven't seen yet? Yep. I mean, I can hardly wait for that. I'm very excited about that.
He sounded super enthusiastic about that on Twitter.
It is an interesting time we're walking into here because we knew last year there would be hardware. You know certain things that are going on.
Yeah.
This time you go, what we know there's
going to take that too.
Right. What's going to take the 2? No, you're right, Salty. What is going to take that 2 hours? Because, Gallagher's new studio, they're lucky if they even have a logo for that thing.
3.
Right? Yeah, right. The cameras won't be on stage. But, I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of all those games that we saw last year, like Ash and all, none of those came out yet. So I think you're going to see a lot of those again. And then I think you're going to see some in-depth gameplay of Shadow the Tomb Raider.
You're right about
yeah.
those games that haven't came out yet. Damn it.
Right? Yeah, it's true. Like, right? Crap.
A lot of those just again, but with more footage.
Yeah, I mean, we saw probably like, what was that? The Darwin Project and Rock Bottom. Those games came that were on stage last year, but the games that everyone was kind of looking forward to, and now probably going to see a little bit of Below, and you're going to see Ashen, and you're going to see that Cyberpunk will be on there. So there'll be some stuff there. But
I'm super. The only thing I'm the most excited for is that Cyberpunk game.
Well,
I think that might be Microsoft stage definitely. Also, they might show a little bit more of.
It's amazing.
Yeah, they might show more Metro and maybe Anthem. I don't know.
Anthem, well, yeah, they have marketing rights for Anthem. They have marketing rights for Battlefield and Madden.
I think you're going to see something with Fable. Crap, I do think you're going to see
something. I hope they do.
Even if it's CGI, you'll see it.
Now here's the thing,
I don't want to see Crackdown unless they got a release date. Don't fucking show me nothing unless it's ready.
I'm with
Terry
Fox.
Crews
that's all I'm saying.
Smashing things.
It's got the power of the cloud, Bob.
I'm gonna flip tables. Okay, listen.
Dude, look, it's got the power of the cloud. It's gonna be amazing. Like they're gonna be like, here it is, Crackdown.
I always like the stuff 33 when they do the live stuff, and they're like, "No, it's available now."
Yeah, I think we might get that with Crackdown 3 beta.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah,
at least for a beta or for something. Like they need to do something with it. Like it's available now. Like that needs to be on there.
How much? Go ahead.
How much time of the 2 hours is Minecraft going to take up?
Well, here's what I was kind of counting on, right? I would say they're going to, as much as this should have been months ago, they're going to announce the Avatar thing there, right? And they're probably gonna have some Avatar games to go along with it or whatever. And I know that's like, I mean, that's not like a big deal, but I mean that's it is what it is.
As long as they have games to show with it, sure. But if they're just gonna say, "Oh, the Avatars are coming again," I'm like, no, I already know.
Be excited to see a couple Avatar games because I like a lot of those games personally. I mean, that's me.
But their big game is Forza Horizon 4. And so that's always Phil's thing that he's got, you know. So
I'm excited for
what
that.
Ori?
I love Forza
Ori
Horizon,
too.
so.
Ori too. Well, people cried when they announced that. So we've gotta really.
I never even finished Ori 1.
They're gonna show a lot of that gameplay and the art style and whatever for that game, definitely.
I can hardly wait.
No, crappy.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. I had heard that somebody asked about Project Cloud. That's that thing that I was talking about earlier where they're going to have like third parties and first parties on board for like the Crackdown 3 style destructible stuff, right? Like they're all in on that stuff. So apparently a lot of games are going to be using that kind of stuff from now on.
Right.
So that, and it's probably the thing where you can stream stuff to your phone or whatever too. I don't think that's a big deal. Personally, it's not something I'm ever going to use. So it's like
to my phone.
It's like PS Now. You know, like I'm never gonna use that. It's an option, but I don't use it. So it's like realistically, that's not a big deal to me at all. Like, don't waste so much time on that. I don't care about, you know, that kind of stuff. I just don't. I just want to see the games. But now I'm kind of depressed. I had heard, and this isn't really a spoiler because I know people are like from 2 media people that the only game that they're showing behind closed doors playable to the media is Forza Horizon 4 that's the only unannounced game that they're showing. So. That doesn't mean that they're not going to show off other games, but it just means that we probably won't get those other games anytime soon. You know, so that's their that's his ace. Like Phil's got, you know, he's got that ace up his sleeve, and it's always Forza.
Forza Horizon,
which stinks because that's good for like crap and a lot of people. But like I appreciate.
That's great for me. That's another game I'm gonna put 100+ hours on. So.
Yeah. Subtract the 1 for me. And you know, it's I don't play a lot of racing games. You know, I don't. It's not my thing. So I mean, I appreciate them. I think they're very well made. But if like Forza Horizon's the headliner,
Forza Horizon, they could do a lot of stuff with it. They could add. I mean, I'm not saying like. I mean, if you're not a big racing fan or whatever, but there's still a lot of stuff they could do for that. They could add cops. They could add.
They're not gonna.
I hope they don't add cops.
They're not.
I hope they don't either.
Playground and Forza 10 have changed so little. You know what I mean? I know they did the Hot Wheels thing was pretty cool. That's a DLC thing. I mean, the game is pretty much the game. It's gonna be a different scenario, different city, different you know, country.
Don't matter to me. I'm still gonna play the hell out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play it, much. But it won't change much. You know, it's just gonna be like, eh. So, I mean, like, for me personally, I want to see, I don't care if it's a CGI. Like, if everybody's going to light a match and faint at PSX for, like, a CGI of, like, right, Last of Us 2, then I don't mind seeing Fable's Dark Reboot in a CGI. I think that would be really cool.
You're like Dark Reboot, like you're so sure.
know.
I mean, it's
like
going to be Fable.
I sure as hell hope it's a Dark Reboot.
It's going to be Fable. And you know what? All they need to do, if I learned anything from this last...
If it ends up being Fable, the Disney version of A Small World, I'm out.
Fable's just going to be Fable. It has to have that lighthearted, but
It
dark
doesn't have
sense.
to.
What's the dark version? Head on the spike when it come out with the CG trailer.
Yeah, right?
Blood the Impalers and
Yeah, you can't
Good,
catch STDs in
There's
this
movies
version.
out there right now that have like that. What is that? That Maleficent or whatever it was called. That's
Maleficent?
based off of Snow White, and it's like off. It's like
Maleficent?
so dark. Yeah. So if you can do that with Snow White, you can do it with Fable. It's a video game.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't know. Like, look, if anything that I've learned from this past week is all they have to do is show some moss with a Fable logo, and people will flip their
A big name developer has to show some moss, and that's all it has to be.
Playground Games show some moss with a
Right.
Fable 4 logo, and people will be like, wow, I have never seen, and this is kind of a quick segue because it's so ridiculous. So Kojima did that with Death Stranding, and you should see the replies. People are just like, it's the best looking moss ever. It's so great. It's godly. It's like, and I'm like, are these people for real, or are they just being humorous?
Oh, they're
And
for
it turns
real.
out they're for real.
Yeah,
for
well,
real.
because people put a lot of those developers like up on a pedestal too, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's like that Metal Gear Solid 5, right? Now people are starting to play it, and they're like, why did this game get so many 10 out of 10s? And me and Mooch were the ones years ago saying because Kojima got like shafted by Konami and people felt bad for him.
Well, look, that's what happens. People put developers up on pedestals, and that goes with any developer, right? Like I ever go and say that even as far as like on the Nintendo side, like Miyamoto and Aonuma and all those people, like that nobody's perfect. Like there is no perfect video game. There is no perfect developer. There is nobody who sits there and everything they come up with is a genius idea because it just doesn't happen.
No, Naughty Dog. They're one that does that, right? Well, that's at least what I hear anyway. So I don't know if I necessarily.
Well, I mean,
agree with that,
Naughty
but-
Dog went and took a different kind of. No, I mean, I'm changing course back to where we were going with Fable. But you go look at the first Uncharted and look at some of the early games before Uncharted that Naughty Dog made, and then now look at the Last of Us 2. You want to talk about dark and like really, really, you know, that kind of God, what am I thinking of? Original Max Payne kind of darkness that you could reach into with a character. And on the Sony side, they've had a few of those. So they've had a couple games that are in that kind of genre, but Microsoft doesn't have that. And so if they're not going to cookie cut like The Last of Us, then take something like Fable and really make it a story that is, like The Wolf Among Us, right? You guys really like that Telltale. They took a bunch of fairy tales and put a twisted little turn on that shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
so
I mean,
why can't you do that with Fable?
Fable already kind of had that, but yeah, I agree. They could darken it up a little and still make
You can get
still Fable.
STDs, and you can
Oh,
have.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it was already had that like dark.
Yeah,
sense
you could get your kids taken away, and your wife would leave you and stuff. Like that was pretty dark. It was like real life all over.
Yeah, I remember I turned the.
Oh no, crappy! That sounds like really weird. Like personal experience. What the fuck?
Meanwhile, you walk out the door and there's a giant sized dandelion, really scary. You know, I mean, it was, you know, I mean, I know what you mean. They use some real life instances, but forget the instances. Like, make something that's fucking terrifying that you have to fight. You know,
I just remember Crapgamer tearing down that whole town or whatever because he messed up his game, and so that town was just never the same.
Yeah, and then I turned the one into a whorehouse. That was pretty
The
funny.
school,
too.
the orphanage, I did that
Oh,
too, because it was such an easy money. I
It
was
was-
like,
you-
how
you
can I
needed-
turn
I
down
needed
all that
money. You had to have money to beat the game, right? So the only way I could make money was getting a hoe house up in there.
Yeah,
so.
my thing is look, I either get all this money up and maybe on the way step on a few people's toes, or everyone dies.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, them kids can probably still learn somewhere or live somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
They'll figure it out. Hey, Mooch, Days Gone. That game's getting hammered by the media. Uh-oh.
it is, but
Uh-oh.
how can you hammer something that comes out a year from now? I don't
Uh-oh.
like. Hey, this game doesn't look so good. When's it come out? Like that's like literally. That's like if Hellhammer brings home a pair of like these beautiful steaks and he's gonna grill them, and you're like, that shit looks raw. Of course, it looks raw. He just came back from the grocery store. Like you can't judge them until he's done. Now he sears them and burns the shit out of them. You start yelling at him.
I want to say this. I want to say that that game always looked generic to me, and seeing the footage of it, it just here's the thing.
It could be janky,
Naughty Dog or something, and you're not naughty.
No, you're right, Crap, and I'm not going to defend the game. I'm really not. And listen, I got news for you. There was a couple people saying this. Like, if Sony's had 4 bangers and all of a sudden they got one that's just okay, I mean, like you just said, it's okay to stick an okay, a 70, a 72.
I said
right?
that too. I was like, sometimes in baseball, you don't hit a home run, you hit a single. You know, it's like
right, and they hit a single, and at that point, it's like, you know what I mean? But I mean, the point of the matter is that they can afford to do that right now. Right now, as janky as Days Gone is, Days Gone would be like our AAA game of the year, right?
Yeah,
so
you're right.
That's my whole thing.
You got me there, but
I'm not defending it. You have every right to make the jabs.
You're right. I mean,
I just think that it's too early to judge this book by. Why is Eurogamer judging a game that's coming out in 9 months? What are they doing?
Hey, I'm just happy they're doing it on PlayStation for a change.
I know. I can't believe it. I got the I've got the Game Informer right here in front of me. Days Gone, the edition, the issue came.
Yeah, like the article. It was like they were talking about how it was bad. Like it was hard to control the guy, and it's like I see. That's the thing. I don't know if the guy was like, if he didn't know how to play, or the game was actually shitty, because it's a demo. So, but it was just like, now I'm not going to sit here and defend it, because this is actually a game I'm looking forward to, because it's a zombie game, and I love zombie games.
I'm so sick of zombies.
I don't know why. I just can't get enough of it. I'm even watching Fear the Walking Dead, and it's not even that good.
I've never even watched that show, and I stopped watching The Walking Dead after.
Listen, you know what I'm done. And Glitcher, tell me if you're like this. I don't know. And I think Salty's a big zombie fan too. Yeah. I'm done selling people on zombies. I don't give a shit if you're tired of them.
Yeah.
I love them. And I got to be honest with you. Right?
Everybody just tries to
speech to us, man.
Everybody tries to, but here's the thing: they know that zombies are oversaturated, because they're not even calling them zombies; they're freakers, or they're Zeds, they're clickers, or Zeds. Exactly. Yeah, they sound like. Oh, never mind. I can't make that joke.
I can't. No, you can't.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. But
my life is bad.
I didn't know. I got really pissed off. I'm glad you guys brought this up. It's been bothering me. The one thing I was saying, I think the top thing I was saying to Decay 2 that bothers me is they call them Zeds.
Yeah.
I'm like, Zed? I think a Zed. I think a Bobcat Goldthwait in freaking, what do you call it, Police Academy. I don't remember.
Only America pronounces Z as Z.
Yep.
Everywhere else calls it Zed.
Yeah.
By the way.
Oh.
So that could have something to do with it.
Doesn't make me feel any better.
Yeah, you know what? I learned that a long time ago. Like years ago, I did like a customer service job, and we would get calls from people like around the world for that. And people were like, Zed. I'm like, what?
Zed.
But, I mean, the thing is like I said, the Glitch, I was telling Salty, like, I'm done selling. I'm not going to sell crap on a zombie game. I can see where he may be a bit tired of it. But personally,
it looked generic to me is the problem.
Yeah.
Well, that's in this instance. But, I mean, let me tell you something. The Days Gone zombies look a lot like, to me, look a lot like the State of Decay 2 zombies. So, I mean, they didn't look that much different. They still have, they're not quite like the clickers. I like when you take a little bit of the zombie-esque and you change it into like what they did with the last. That's why I like The Last of Us. I like how they took the zombie being itself, and they used it more like that disease where you have there's the runner, then there was the infected, and then there was the clicker. And it was basically something that metamorphosized in your body, and it grew like basically a fungus.
Yeah. Well, these also kind of look like the World War Z zombies, the Brad Pitt ones.
Yes.
Yeah. Was it? Wasn't Days Gone supposed to come out this year, and then it got delayed?
Yeah, they delayed it to quote unquote polish it.
Yeah, with Eurogamer going there with a game that was supposed to come out this year, they got delayed. I don't really have a problem with them playing it and saying it's trash, because more than likely it is trash, because it was supposed to come out this year.
Right.
Played it. So it's not going to change that much from the mechanics of how it works. So we'll get more polish in other areas. But like if they're saying, hey, when I try to control this guy, it's kind of janky, it's just it's probably going to be that way. And they said, janky, they said pretty much it better have a really good story or it's going to be shit. So
I mean, because the guy said the world was too massive. There wasn't. It was. I mean, it's a game I'm looking forward to, and hopefully they improve on it, because if, well, like you guys said, they can afford to take the hit.
Why did they need another zombie game with The Last of Us? I don't know. I don't get it.
Like you'd figure they would be talking to each other a little bit, trying to like play off each other. You know, like here's the thing: Bend Studios hasn't done anything in forever, like AAA wise, right? They did an Uncharted Vita game, and that was their, I think, and they helped out with some other game. They did Siphon Filter 25 years ago.
What's a Vita?
That thing that Sony never supported, but never got any flack for because they're Sony.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
I mean, yeah, I mean, I have one, but I don't use the damn thing. So, yeah, so it's interesting. Like you have this studio that's kind of unproven lately, anyway, and then they're trying to pull off this Sony template of these third-person kind of openish world thing, and they're not Sony Santa Monica, and they're not you know, Naughty Dog. So I think that could be a problem. But I still think when it's all said and done, this game will probably get between 7 and 8s. You know,
Yeah, probably.
People, so.
Yeah, I would say between a 7. If the way that the article reads is true, and like Salty makes a good point, by the way. He's saying, okay, so it was supposed to come out. So maybe this, you know, a lot of people were giving Sony too much credit again, and they were saying, oh, they just pushed it off because they have too many games. Okay, no, they didn't. The game had a problem. So maybe this Eurogamer trip was planned well in advance, like it probably was, and they went anyways to go see what's up, and it is janky and all that. So, yeah, maybe the controls won't really change. They will probably make the game aesthetically look a lot better because they give a developer a good 6 to 8 months to clean up a game. That's a tremendous, and it's Sony endorsing it and Sony money. I would say that they're in good shape as far as the way it'll look. How it'll handle and the story, that's a different story. But I mean, realistically, Sony can afford to have a 72 to 78 Metacritic in this portfolio right now.
Yeah. I hope it's good. I don't want it to be a bad game.
No,
I
don't either.
Funny. Yeah. So with that, I got a Jeff Goldblum gift.
But you can't beat that, right?
I know, right? Time's up.
Time's up.
Time's up. Yeah, I'm Jeff Goldblum. So
Jeff Goldblum.
Anyway, wow, it kind of flew by, mostly because we talked the first hour about Battlefield.
Yeah, that'll do it. A lot of new people must be to your a lot of new people must be to your channel crap tonight because they're like, why is this Mooch guy speaking so loudly?
Yeah. Hey, we're with like 21 likes away from 300. Please get us there. Mooch, what do you got going on this week, bro?
We got a full weekend, buddy. We've got of course Crossfire, 7 p.m. Eastern time, Friday night. Crossfire. So yeah, check that out on Friday night. And then we've got MNC mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern. It'll be on my channel this week. So
yeah, we should have some good stuff there.
Yes.
Yeah, we should have some good stuff there. We
got a lot of skits coming.
We do. And Hellhammer, what do you got going on? No,
not too much. I'll be back on here next week at the same time. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter at XXHellhammer or on Xbox Live, XX_Hellhammer. Or if you want to be even more bold, PlayStation 4 on PSN, XX_Hellhammer. But who the hell plays that?
Yeah, Hellhammer doesn't, even though he could. Man, what a cushy life, man. I'm just like, hey, you want just extra PS4 that I'm not using?
What a cushy life.
Salty, man, thanks for joining us tonight. Where can people find you, man?
Hey, you can find me on YouTube, Saltiest Gaming, 2 words. We have the Saltiest Gaming podcast tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. And you can find me on Twitter, Saltiest Gaming, the Eyes of One. And Battlefield 5 sucks.
Oh, yes!
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Wow. Glitcher, where can people find you, bro?
Hey, you guys can check me out on Attack the Glitcher. I host the show, the Game Dosage podcast on Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time and all that good shit. You can find me on Twitter at Attack Glitcher. Salty, I'm going to body slam you through the internet. I hate your face.
and the lovely Lady Foxfire, where can people find you?
Oh my God, you guys can find me on Twitter, on YouTube, a little bit everywhere, hanging out here every now and then. I love being a guest on your podcast.
Yeah, you did back-to-back shows, and this one was super late notice. I was just like, hey, you want to hop on? We're going to talk Battlefield.
Yeah, right after Battlefield. He got me at the right time, and I said, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I love having this conversation with all you crazy guys, definitely. So, yeah, I just love being on this podcast, definitely one of my favorites. But I'm going to be on Breakfast with Boom this Friday morning, actually.
Oh, nice.
So that's gonna be really fun. I'm gonna be on there with Luca, definitely. Can't
Oh.
wait. And Gaming Den won't be on because she was hanging out with the family, vacation, and all that good stuff. So no Gaming Den on Friday. Sorry, guys. But you could check out my channel. Check out my videos. You know, I did a video about Call of Duty. In case you didn't get enough earlier, you can hear me dragging it some more on my channel.
Yep.
It's good stuff. So thank you guys for joining us, man. We'll catch you guys later. Thank the panel for joining us. It was a hell of a show. You guys have a great one. Call of Duty.
Garbage.
Battlefield. Yeah.
They know how to use Roman numerals. Think about it. Later.